Welcome, welcome. Here you can witness some Hasidim praying in the morning prayers and studying in the morning, getting ready for the Jewish New Year, which is only a couple days away. Praying in the morning prayers and studying in the morning, getting ready for the Jewish New Year, which is only a couple days away, literally. This is the 28th day of the Hebrew month, New Year, which is only a couple days away, literally. This is the 28th day of the Hebrew month of Elul, which is the last month of the entire year. Pretty brutal, I know. I don't even know what I'm going to do now. So basically, the Jewish New Year, very important time. I don't even know what I'm going to do now. So basically, the Jewish New Year, very important time. It says everything that happens in the entire year happens on the Jewish New Year. I mean, the Jewish New Year is not only the beginning of the year, but it's called the head. Very important time. It says everything that happens in the entire year happens on the Jewish New Year. I mean, the Jewish New Year is not only the beginning of the year, but it's called the head of the year. Just like a head includes all of the limbs of a body, so too the Jewish New Year, head of the year. Just like a head includes all of the limbs of a body, so too the Jewish New Year. Are basically included in the Jewish New Year. It says there's three head of the year. Just like a head includes all of the limbs of a body, so too the Jewish New Year. Are basically included in the Jewish New Year. It says there's 365 days of the year. There's also 365 sinews in a person's body. So there's also a relationship between that. There's 365 days of the year. There's also 365 sinews in a person's body. So there's also a relationship between that. We'll get more of that later. Right now, here you can observe the Jewish people doing. Hopefully we'll talk more about talking stuff. So 365 sinews in a person's body. So there's also a relationship between that. We'll get more of that later. Right now, here you can observe the Jewish people doing. Hopefully we'll talk more about talking stuff soon. Talking stuff soon. Stuff soon. We're gonna start main prayers. Maybe we'll go out now to talk about other stuff. But yeah. Anyways, here's a nice scene of people praying. Welcome everyone who's just joining us. Feel free to come up as a guest if you want. Yeah, this all these Jews are getting ready for the Jewish New Year. A couple times, couple days away. Basically, everything that's going to happen in the entire year, not only for humanity, but everything that happens even for animals and plants, and even inorganic matter, and even the spiritual worlds. Everything is decreed on the head of the year, because just like the head has like the nervous system that guides all the limbs, so too the head of the year guides and contains within it every day that's going to happen that year. And that what happens, everything that happens, all the natural events, and the non-natural events that happen throughout the year, are all determined on the Jewish New Year of the year coming up. Right now we're only a couple days away, so people are getting ready in the last couple of days. People come all over the world to this location just to be here during the Jewish high holidays, which are coming up. So there's a lot extra people. There usually is. There's also a school here, a college-age school, that the semester of the previous year ends, and the next semester begins during the same month, which is now. So right now we have 2 semesters of students, plus hundreds of other guests that come specifically during this time of the year to hang out for about a month or 2. So people are staying throughout Crown Heights. They're lodging in places because there's a lot of extra people who come. They want to be like in this holy location during the Jewish high holidays. This location in Chabad, in Judaism, is considered even holier than the land of Israel. So it says in the book of Ezekiel that when Jewish people went into exile by the Babylonian exile, when they were kicked out of Jerusalem thousands of years ago, they were upset that they thought that the Creator abandoned them outside of Israel. So the Creator revealed himself to Ezekiel in the beginning of the book of Ezekiel, and he showed him this whole vision of like a whirlwind with like a chariot with angels and stuff. And that was in order to show Ezekiel and the Jewish people that even when they're outside the land of Israel, in the land of Babylon, the Creator and all of his angels and all of his energies, his divine energy, so to speak, goes with them into the physical location that the Jewish people are exiled to. So just like it was thousands of years ago, when the Jewish people were exiled later, they went to Rome and they went to Babylon, they went to a lot of other places outside the land of Israel. The Creator, wherever the people were, wherever the majority of the Jewish people were, and wherever the leader of the Jewish people, who's the Rebbe of the Jewish people, were. And in recent times, the Lubavitch Rebbe revealed to us that his father-in-law, Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak Schneerson, says that when he came to America in 1940, then since his soul includes within it the souls of all the Jewish people, then he explained that he himself went to Crown Heights, the leader of the Jewish people, and that's when he bought this property, 770 Eastern Parkway. He bought it and established it as the Jewish Center of America and his permanent private residence. So when that happened, then this entire building became the house of the leader of the Jewish people in exile, and it also became the main place where the Creator is revealed, the primary synagogue in the world, even holier than the temple in Jerusalem. During the comes then we're going to have the temple in the Temple Mount, and then that's going to be, and then in the Talmud it says that all the synagogues throughout the world are going to be miraculously uprooted from their places in the gravel to the temple, greet the temple. So all the synagogues will be back there, but in the meantime, during the time of the exile, it says the house of the Jewish people. Yo, it's cracking up. What's up?
Is it your first night?
What is Rosh Hashanah? Tomorrow night. Wednesday night, right? No. Yeah. Say yeah. Okay, cool. What's up? I just got invited over for the Rosh Hashanah night meal, which is nice. Anyway, it's getting loud, so let's go outside. So now you can see a lot more sights outside. So anyway, by the way, this is the building. This is the main building, 770 Eastern Parkway. This other thing that we were just in is technically 2 other addresses that were later bought by Chabad, and they were expanded into the synagogue. But technically, they have different addresses. But this building right here is the technical address of 770 Eastern Parkway. That second floor, that's where the 6th Rebbe of Chabad used to actually live. And then the downstairs area is a synagogue, and this room right here used to be the most recent Lubavitch Rebbe's office. It still is. People like go in there all the time. Anyway, so that's normal. So anyway, the Creator essentially, according to the Lubavitch Rebbe, when the Jewish people went to America, the Creator himself went with them, and to this building specifically. But anyway, so now because of the special holidays and because there's hundreds of more people that came into the town, they were building all kinds of new tents and stuff. This is the women's section. On the first floor up these stairs, and above that are the center offices for the Chabad umbrella organization called Merkos, which means like the central organization of Chabad. And then above that, on the top floor, is the Chabad.org offices. And that is the Chabad website that goes out to the world. So these are like the central offices where everything happens. And then, but this tent they're building for the women's section to add additional seats because of all the new guests that are coming. And then this tent over here is the men's tent. They have a lot of new men praying and they need space to pray. So they built an entire tent, pretty intense. And they turn this tent into a shul, into a synagogue. It's a lot of a tent shul. Look at how far this tent goes. They close off the entire service lane here to build this tent. Let's take a look inside, shall we? Anyway, so this is the regular 770 building, considered the holiest place in the world for Chabad people. And anyway, so basically this entire service, I mean, maybe like a 1/3 of the service lane for this entire block is pretty much just tent. They close off the whole road for other stuff, but this is this tent was turned into a synagogue. What does that have to do with this? I don't know. What are you talking about? Anyway, so here you can see people praying the morning prayers inside of a tent. We're literally outside on the street. Cars drive here all the time. But now this is being used for prayers, which is a special time during the holidays. Only for like a month or two do they have this. Anyway, so let's take a walk throughout this entire tent and see what's going on. I mean, okay, I might be saying amen to some prayers as I walk by. Alright, I'm just gonna walk by kind of silently now, and we'll talk later. A lot of people praying for Hashem, which is good. Let's just take a quick look back before we go further. Yeah, so look how far this tent goes. This is all service lane. This used to be a street that cars would actually drive on, but they closed off the entire street just to build this tent to add extra space for all these new guests that are coming during the holidays. So these people are praying a special prayer that's said only a few days before the Jewish New Year, which is called the Selichot, the supplications, which is during the week before. 1 second, I'll tell you later. Sorry. During the week before the Jewish New Year, there's certain prayers that are said before the actual morning prayers as like supplications for the Creator to forgive us, because it's a special time. Now it's getting slightly more empty, which is expected because we're pretty much, look how far this tent goes. All the way to the beginning is all just synagogue, and we're not even at the end of the block yet. Anyway, so now let's see how much ground we covered. Yeah, so that building way over there was where we started, and now here we are. Got the camera. I don't know what's with this camera quality. There's got to be something I can do with the camera. I'm not sure what exactly. This is beautiful. Yes, thank you. Anyway, so now we're gonna go to another cool thing. You know, maybe if I switch the camera, maybe it's better. We'll see. This better quality for now. Let's see here. We can turn on some effects. So anyway. It's a little loud. Let me just turn this effect on. Okay. Now we're getting to the fun part of the live here. So let's just take a look back. That's where the tent ends, right there. And it still goes for a long time. And now, and this entire rest of the service lane is also cut off. So we can pretty much walk in the middle of the street now. Yeah, so we're now going to go to a different place called Moshe Rabashkin's house. He's the brother of the famous Shalom Mordechai Rabashkin that you may have heard of. Someone in the comments asked, do they believe this synagogue is more holy than Temple Mount? Am I understanding it correctly? Yes, but during the time of the exile only. When the Messiah comes, then the Temple Mount will obviously be holier because it will have the Holy Temple. But during the time of the exile, says where a righteous person is, then that's like the holiest place. And especially because the creator of the universe himself goes with the Jewish people to the place that they're exiled to in a way that's greater than he is found in other places. Really, the creator is found everywhere, but then when we say the creator goes with them, it means like the revelation of the creator's energy, like the awareness of the creator, the open revelation of the creator. So that is still essentially that energy of the creator, the extra awareness of the creator goes with the Jewish people wherever they go outside the land of Israel when they're in exile. So during the time of the exile, since the leader of the Jewish movement, Rabbi Yosef Yitzchak Schneerson, went to Crown Heights and bought that building, then the creator, so to speak, went there and is manifested there in a similar way to how he was manifested in the temple. While the actual place of the temple nowadays is in ruins and it's during exile. So the creator is also there, but not in the same way as he is outside the land of Israel, because that's where he goes to meet the Jewish people, so to speak. Anyway, so the place that we're about to go, about a block away, is a really cool place where this person, really nice. One second. That's New York for you. This guy spends a lot of money, and he puts out food, hot food, 24/7, and allows anyone to just walk on the street and take it. And he has workers, and he has like outdoor like cooking equipment and stuff, and he has like huge boxes of food. They literally just make food and serve it all day, every day for more than a month, like a month and a half. Hot food for anyone. So it's a really cool place. It's pretty much like the future. So someone in the comments says, so because the Romans removed us from our land, our Holy Land is supposed to be America. So wherever the Jewish people go, wherever like the majority of the Jewish people go, and the leader of the Jewish people, who includes within him all the Jewish people go, that's where the Creator goes with us. So yeah, since the Jews were the majority of them were kicked out of the land of Israel, then the Creator himself followed the Jewish people out of Israel. And I mean, even though the Creator is everywhere, so he's also in Israel now, but he's with the Jewish people outside of Israel now in a greater way than he is inside until the Messiah comes, because we're still in exile. But after the exile, then everything's going to go back to Israel. That's a different issue. Anyway, we're almost there. Here, see here. Very fancy. Not sure if this is part of it, the storage for it, maybe something else. But we're about to see a lot of storehouses of goodie food and stuff, which is cool. Here's some mattresses from the tunnels. No, a little different. They have a lot of mattresses here because they have a lot of guests that just like sleep in the basement. Their basements are just like packed with beds, like every inch pretty much for a lot of the new guests. Here, this truck, I'm pretty sure, is part of the operation. Let's take a closer look. Inside scoop investigation. Ooh. Look at all of these boxes. There must be something. I'm not exactly sure what, but we'll find out maybe one day when Mashiach comes. So now here you can see the real magic. Look at all these. Let me just turn the camera around actually. Here, look at all these boxes of just pure food that's being made and served to hundreds, if not thousands of people. Literally all this, they're just giving away after they make it into food and stuff. Boxes of just infinite food. And this is only just like for a couple days. And they have truckloads that come in all the time. Look at all this. This is ridiculous. Wow, that's brutal. And they have more stored, they have more in the back also. This is just like the stuff that they have to process to get. And here's bread. This is just for bread for like a couple of days. And then here's the actual operation. Here you have a lot of very nice workers here. And they have the made food that's being made here for anyone. Literally anyone off the street could just take this for free, no charge to anyone. So yeah, it's a really good system. So It's got a lot of cool stuff here. They usually put a lot of cooked food out here later, which is cool. And yeah, they have bagels and they have fruits. They have like actual cooked like eggs and stuff later. Maybe somewhere else they have it. Let's just take a look around. Here they have more fancy tables for, I guess, not sure what exactly this is for. This whole wall is new. This is like maybe the second time I've been here this year. Oh, there's more food in the back. They have like a whole another back section of food. Here's some food they have stored up for later. I mean, they have like a lot of things in the back also, but this is just like a tiny fraction of what they actually have. So it's pretty cool. Anyway, they also have a tent. They also closed off a large part of the street to make a tent, which is pretty cool. So let's take a look inside that. And by the way, anyone who wants to come up as a guest, I'm kind of running out of steam at the moment, so it'd be cool if you do. Anyway, so this is like a nice outdoor kitchen. They have other kitchens. They have like a whole other kitchen in the back, but it's kind of like locked, so you can't really get to it. But this is like the public area of the kitchen. So yeah, I mean, imagine if everyone had this everywhere. Anyway, so yeah, here's the tent that he himself. This is like a separate tent that he rented out just for this event. This is also the street cars used to drive here a couple weeks ago, and literally this entire place. This is usually filled up later on. He's just putting it up recently, so there's not many people here now, and there's also not that much food here now. But it picks up pace. Eventually they have like cooked food, like non-stop, hot food that's kept hot. Imagine if this was everywhere, man. Imagine like if everyone had just like infinite food everywhere you looked forever. I wanted to do that a long time ago. I wanted to just like set up. Imagine if there was just like a bunch of locations throughout the city and throughout the world where people just like have unlimited hot food, like so you could just take it all you can eat buffet style 24/7. It wouldn't be that expensive considering all the money people spend on other stuff that's kind of worthless. But it would be kind of cool if there's just infinite food everywhere. Every like few blocks, you just go to like a place that has hot food being cooked, and you could just take some. That would be cool one day. But they have it here now for at least a couple months, so that's something. So yeah, I mean, if anyone wants to come up now, because I'm kind of running out of stuff to talk about. I mean, I have stuff to talk about, but I just don't know who's actually listening. Is another issue. So it would be kind of cool if we had more guests to actually like come up to talk about stuff. If you can take the hint. I'll just invite a bunch of people. Hopefully I'm not ignoring them too much. Only a little bit. In the meantime, while we wait for people to come up as a guest, let's talk more about the Jew year. So yeah, what a beautiful dreams you have. Yes, that's one of the dreams. Yeah, well, hopefully one day if I become a multi-trillionaire, I wanted to start the system where you just have like every few blocks, you just have unlimited, you have centers with unlimited food everywhere. Anyone could just walk in. So this is pretty much a precursor of that. That's what this guy is doing. He's like a multi-millionaire, and he spends like I think a few $100,000 every year just to host a few hundred people in his own house. Like anyone could just come in and sleep there, or any house, food just 24/7, like hot food going all the time. Hey, welcome, AK.
What's going on? Shalom Aleichem, Boker Tov.
Thank you. Good morning. Shalom Aleichem. Have we met before?
No, I don't know why it asked me to go live with you. But Baruch Hashem.
Oh, nice.
Yeah, I'm just gonna head into the office here soon. But what's going on with you? Where are you located?
Right now I'm in Crown Heights, Brooklyn, New York.
Oh, the Holy Land of Brooklyn, huh?
Yeah, the holy city. Right now I'm in a tent. There's like a tent in the sky named Moshe Rabashkin.
You've already got the sukkah up? That's already done?
Yeah, well, he closed off like a huge section of the street, and he built this on the street. So yeah, pretty much like in the middle of the street for all the guests. He has a thing where during a month and a half, or maybe a little more, he has like just unlimited food just being cooked and served 24/7 to anyone from the street. You just walk in and come to this tent and eat.
Baruch Hashem. That's awesome. Yeah. That's a great mitzvah.
Yeah, so that's cool. One day it would be cool if they had that year-round everywhere in the world, but at least in one place at one time. And it's a precursor for that. He does it every year for like the past, I don't know exactly how many years, but for a lot of years, basically.
Hashem. You like living in Crown Heights? You live over there?
Yeah, it's a nice place.
I'm out in Jersey in Caldwell. Do you know where that is?
Well, I know New Jersey, so I'm guessing it's somewhere in that area.
Yeah,
I
you know
don't
where
know.
West Orange is? What about Morristown?
Yes, I went to Morristown. They have a yeshiva there. I went there for
Oh,
like
yeah, Morristown is you. Okay, so we're north of there about 15 minutes.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
You ever go to yeshiva and hang out in there?
Yeah, I've been twice. I think I went by twice, but I didn't go and learn or anything. I was just traveling and stopped in. I think I brought a friend of mine to put on Tefillin. But
Nice.
for the most part, so I got some a quick cool Devar Torah.
Yeah, let's hear it.
So in the world today, all of us, are hustling and bustling, and Elul and this Zman before Rosh Hashanah, it's coming, right? So whether or not we accept it or not, it's happening. But the most important thing is to actually recognize that it's not just me in the world and what I want going to happen, but that there's a king, there's a ruler of the universe, which created the world for me and to have a purpose. So the Devar Torah goes like this. This is the Zman to not just think about yourself, but about everyone else, right? The most important, we say, and we coronate the king on Rosh Hashanah. All Jews come together and we say, God is the king of the world, and this is where we belong. But at this moment, just as that's happening, we also have to think of ourselves as also another person. Because we truly come together on Rosh Hashanah and we're talking about our past selves. We're like, oh, we need forgiveness. We weren't the best. We could have been better. But also the future person we could be. Our potential is there. And in this Zman, it's the most intimate situation you can have with the ruler of the universe, but also with yourself. So it's just something I wanted to give over, that everybody out there should know that it's not just about themselves, but it is your future self, your past self, and your potential.
That's cool. Yeah, self and others, pretty much. That's all there is. Um, yeah, that's cool. That's cool. The Jewish New Year, special time.
Yep. Give me 1 second.
Yeah, the what's it called? In the deeper meanings of the Hasidus and the Kabbalistic meanings, it says that on the Jewish New Year, really, like it says, everything goes back to how it was in the beginning of creation. The evening before Rosh Hashanah, it says that the entire desire that the Creator has to continue sustaining the universe, so to speak, gets removed from the world, and only the external shell of the world remains, but the internal desire the Creator has for it goes back to its source in the Awtsmoos, in the essence of the Creator. And it says, through the Jewish people praying on the day of Rosh Hashanah, and through them blowing the shofar blast, that elicits the desire that the Creator has for the world to continue, and that brings that desire of the Creator back down from the essence of the Creator into every facet of reality.
I'm
So
sorry
yeah,
about
basically
that.
the entire year. It's good. It's good. Yeah, basically everything that happens in the entire year is determined on Rosh Hashanah, the head of the year coming up. It says everything, every world event that's going to happen, every natural occurrence, like everything that happens to someone. So not only everything that happens to humans, but everything that happens to animals, plants, even inorganic matter like rocks and the spiritual worlds. Even everything that happens to everything is
Right.
determined on the year.
But I think trees get their brocha on Fish Bob, right?
Yes, there is a separate New Year for trees as well, and that's uniquely for trees. This Rosh Hashanah is the Rosh Hashanah for the whole world, including trees, but not focusing necessarily on trees. But yeah, there is a Rosh Hashanah for trees. This one is like for everything, literally, like all matter that exists throughout the entire year. Someone asked, what do you want to do on this day? I'm guessing you're asking not this day, but the day of Rosh Hashanah coming up. So on Rosh Hashanah, the evening of Rosh Hashanah, Jewish people just pray the evening prayers. Usually it's like an extended prayer service. And people say the book of Psalms, a supplication that says when someone says the book of Psalms, like they're building up like the blessings for the year. So people try to say a lot of it to build up more blessings for the year. And then the main part of Rosh Hashanah is the daytime service, where because that's the service that mainly determines like everything, the entire judgment for the entire year. The main service is the morning prayers is important, but then there's the part where we blow the shofar, which is the most important part, or maybe the second most important part of Rosh Hashanah. The shofar blast, it's like a ram's horn blast that is like a call from the essence of the soul that calls out to the essence of the Creator. It's beyond words. Usually when someone talks, even if someone screams out with their own voice like ah or something, they're still using letters to speak. Even like the term ah, if you're calling out something, you're using the letter aleph in Hebrew, or in English like a. You're still using a letter to call out. So whenever someone talks or calls out to someone, usually they're using letters, and letters limit a person. The point of letters is to communicate an idea that's really deeply invested in yourself. But when an idea comes into letters, it's limited in some form. But the shofar blast is simply a cry, just from the essence of the soul beyond the letters. It's a simple cry without limitations, beyond limitations, and it literally calls out to the essence of the Creator, and it has the power to draw down infinite blessings for the entire year. And in fact, when the Messiah comes, there's going to be a great shofar blast. One of the prophecies says it will be on that day that the Creator himself will blow a shofar that will be heard throughout the entire universe. And it says that shofar will be so great, it'll call all the Jewish people back miraculously to the land of Yisrael. Everyone will hear it, basically. And the shofar of Rosh Hashanah is related to that, as it's explained in the commentaries. Because there's a whole discourse that explains why it's related to it. But yeah, I mean, there's pretty much, the whole shofar.
The shofar blast on Rosh Hashanah also has two silver trumpets they would blow at the same time, right?
In the temple times, they would have other trumpets that they would blow on all the festivals as well. Yes.
Every Rosh Chodesh, I think.
Yeah, they had trumpets, and they were also important. But this specific ram's horn is a unique mitzvah only for the Jewish New Year, and that itself is its own commandment. It's a commandment for every Jew to hear it on Rosh Hashanah Day. That's why a lot of Chabad people, after they have their own services, they will go out and walk the entire city just to blow the shofar for random Jewish people on the street. It's important for every Jew to hear it because it draws down infinite blessings for the entire year. So that's one important part. It's a commandment of the Torah to listen to that on the Rosh Hashanah Day. And then after that, afterwards, there's a Musaf prayer, which is like also late morning, afternoon prayer. That it also has part of the shofar blowing in it, but the main shofar blowing was before this prayer. And then the main thing of this prayer is like saying a bunch of different verses of the Torah that talk about how Hashem is the King of the world, and talking about how Hashem remembers everything and remembers us and takes supervision over us, and how Hashem is related, how Hashem is revealed in the shofar blast. There's a bunch of verses in the Torah that talk about the shofar and Hashem, like it says by Mount Sinai, when the Creator revealed Himself to the Jewish people and to all of humanity, really, to give us the Torah. It says when the Creator came down to Mount Sinai with fire, lightning in front of millions of eyewitnesses, there was a shofar blast that announced His arrival, so that everyone could hear this miraculous shofar that was growing louder and louder. It was a supernatural shofar blast that came from the heavens, that when the Creator revealed Himself in Mount Sinai. And we talk about that during this prayer. Essentially, the prayer is just eliciting all these different aspects of the Creator to be king over the world, and to sustain the world for the year. So that's a very important prayer as well that follows. And yeah, pretty much. And then afterwards, the Jewish people eat a festive meal, as usual, pretty much. Because it's technically a holiday as well. And the main thing is it's a day of judgment, we call it, because it's the judgment that decides everything that's going to happen throughout the year. But it's also a holiday, and we also have to enjoy ourselves physically, which is part of the meal, part of the meal. Yeah. Basically.
I'm not sure. Can you still hear me?
Yeah, I had a little echo, whatever you just did. Made it a little worse.
Let me take it off. Hold on.
All right.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's all good.
How about now?
No, it's good now. Perfect. Okay. You do good deeds on this day. Yeah, I mean, a lot of people, especially in Chabad, they go out after their own services. They walk with shofars. So that's a good deed, I guess. And pretty much always everything we do is a good deed for the Creator, good deeds for other people. Really, everything that we do for the Creator affects the entire universe as well. So just doing the holiday is good deeds. But yeah, they also do other good deeds as well. And yeah, pretty much. Hopefully you don't mind if I switch the... I can't really see you anymore. It's all good. Here we go. Nice to meet you in person.
My pleasure. Sorry if I lost you there.
Yeah, you're here. It's all good. It's all good.
You must have known you were Jewish or something, and because I do lives and stuff like that. I'll make dioramas and stuff like that with my miniatures or art, and try to give over the Devar Torah or go live and talk to people all over the world. And they're like, "Oh my gosh, you're Jewish," and I'm like, "Yeah." So I didn't grow up religious. I went to Aish Torah in Eretz Israel, in Jerusalem, and I became religious in college. And I remember not even knowing what Rosh Hashanah was really. I just knew it was the Jewish New Year's, and I grew up in the middle of the desert, middle of nowhere in Southern California, and I was the only Jew around. But the shofar, the blast, I remember walking the beach one time in Santa Monica with friends, partying, and I'm like, oh gosh, it's Rosh Hashanah, and I walked to the shul by the beach, and I got to go in and hear the shofar blast. I mean, there's moments like that change a person's life. So I recommend to any Jew out there or anybody interested in Judaism or learning about Judaism to go hear it, see it, experience it. It's important. There's something special.
It's good advice. Maybe I'll take it.
So we blow, typically we blow every morning, the month of, Elul. But I hear some people do it year round, actually. Some people will go out, Arab Shabbos or something, and blow the shofar.
I never heard. Interesting. Really? Only Arab Shabbos or every day?
I think Arab Shabbos, and some people do it for before Yom Tov. But they're these are communities. They're in the middle of nowhere. There's one in Israel. I once was there, and I was like, "Why is he blowing the shofar?" And he's like, "He's prepping for Shabbos."
Interesting.
So, one person told me that that there was somewhere written that they'll blow Arab Yom Tov or Arab Shabbos because of the fact if Mashiach comes, they say he's not going to bother us so much on Shabbos. It'll happen Motzei Shabbos. So he's just announcing, just prepping. So that'll be good. I like that. I think that was an excuse, but it was cute.
Yeah, it does. Sounds like an excuse for sure. There's a concept in the Talmud that says before Shabbat starts, there's some kind of horn that was blown in the Jewish communities to let people know that Shabbat is coming, so that people working. In Crown Heights and other communities, what they do instead of an actual shofar, they have actual loudspeakers that are heard throughout the entire cities, and they're really loud. And
and they announce. What do they say?
No, they don't say any. Oh, they don't actually say anything. They have an actual just.
Oh, it beeps. I remember. I was once a couple times in Brooklyn.
There's one. It's like a shofar blast kind of, but I don't know exactly what the name for it is. It's a really loud it lasts for
It's like an alarm, right?
Yeah, it's like an alarm. It's not. It doesn't beep on and off. It's just one continuous, very long alarm. It's they do two. One that's I think 10 minutes before the candle lighting time. There's a time.
Right.
Yeah. Another commandment of the Yom Tov and Shabbat is to light candles wherever someone is going to. So
that's very special, especially for ladies. Any single ladies out there want to get married, start lighting candles.
Yes, and even if someone is a man, if someone is eating alone, if someone is a man, they should also light candles. But if someone is going to a rabbi's house or someone else's house to eat, then if there's candles in that other place, then one does not light the candles themselves. If someone is eating by themselves or in a place that there's no other candles, then they light in the place they're eating, basically.
Yeah. And if you don't have candles, you can leave a light on, an electric light, right? You can just turn a switch on or leave a light on.
It's preferable to have a candle, but I have heard people say that you could technically.
Yeah, I travel everywhere I travel. When I go for work, in case of I get stuck somewhere, I have a candle and matches in my bag and a little tiny grape juice. Just enough to make for Friday night. To survive that part. But I figured if I can, I'm close enough to somewhere I can get my hands on some crackers or something and make mezzanos. But somebody...
Ooh, what happened? What happened? Oh, he said he was banned for some kind of violation. That's brutal. Hopefully it's okay. I don't know what violation happened. I'm not sure what exactly. Did someone kick him out by mistake, or did he just get banned on his own? Not sure what happened. There was like a message that said like there was a violation or something, like a TikTok violation. Sometimes TikTok just has these ridiculous violations. Can you still come back? Did it say there was a violation or something, or what? Can you try requesting back, or will it let you? Or I can't even find you in the list anymore. That's brutal. Yeah, earlier you appeared in the list. Now you don't even appear in the list to invite people. So that's pretty brutal. Well, that was strange. I don't exactly know what happened, but my phone also cut out at the same time that Ak had the violation, even though he said now in the comments that he did not have a violation or something. But something happened, we know that, and now we're back to whatever happened before it happened. So yeah, I mean, if anyone else wants to come up as a guest, or if Ak, if you want to come back, just request, because I can't actually find you anywhere in the list. But yeah, it's up to you. Yeah, so maybe it's a sign we should talk about other stuff. I mean, it was good. Yeah, so no, what I was going to say is that the alarms that they have usually sound one time like 10 minutes before the candle lighting time, and then another one at candle lighting time. The candle lighting time usually starts the time like 10 minutes before the candle lighting time, and then another one at candle lighting time. The candle lighting time usually starts the time like 10 minutes before the candle lighting time, and then another one at candle lighting time. The candle lighting time usually starts the time like 10 minutes before the candle lighting time, and then another one at candle lighting time. The candle lighting time usually starts the time Oh, that was brutal. I guess I guess I'm not supposed to talk about candles because my phone keeps on disconnecting whenever I start talking about it. Anyway, maybe we'll talk about new things. No, so the idea of the Jewish New Year coming up is that the evening before the Jewish New Year says all the light of the Creator, all like the divine energy of the Creator, which is like the desire the Creator has to create the world, is all like hidden and goes back to its source the evening before the Jewish New Year, head of the year. And then during the daytime, during the prayers of the Jewish people and during the shofar blast, it says there's an entirely new light of the Creator that is revealed into the world. And this new light never existed before, since the days of creation. And the Jewish people, through their prayers during the Rosh Hashanah, they have the power to literally reveal a greater light and a greater energy into the world that has ever existed. So every year we have greater energy drawn into the world, greater, like, which is associated with like intelligence. So like there's greater wisdom and there's of the Creator that's drawn into the world, which, I mean, I was thinking on my own, seemingly that's maybe the reason why there's so many new inventions every year. It's not because the people are just evolving on their own, but because there's new intelligence of the Creator that is being revealed in every aspect of existence. And that also influences like the brains of people, etc. So the point is that every additional year on the Jewish New Year, during the daytime, during this service, the daytime service of Rosh Hashanah, it says in the deeper meanings, the book of Tanya, as well as other places, that there's an entirely new light of the Creator that is drawn down into this entire universe, and all of the universes, all the spiritual universes, everything that never existed since the time of creation. Even at the beginning of creation, it says there was all this infinite light filling everything, that the Creator had to hide it in order to make room for creation. But this light that's drawn down during the Jewish New Year for the year is greater even than the original light that was shining at the beginning of creation, etc. Every year is infinitely greater than the previous year because of this new revelation, and that's accomplished through the prayers during the daytime of Rosh Hashanah. So it's very important to do it if you guys want, and especially to listen to the shofar blast. Everything, as mentioned before, that the Jewish New Year is not only the beginning of the year, but it's the head of the year. Just like a head includes all the limbs of a body, so too the Jewish head of the year, or the Rosh Hashanah, includes all of the days that are going to happen throughout the entire year. Everything that's going to happen in every day of the entire year is planned out by the Creator through our actions during the Jewish New Year. So that's pretty intense. It's like pretty much a superpower people have. They have the power to literally decide anything that's going to happen. I mean, the whole thing about AI that happened a couple years ago, I don't know, I think that happened because of Rosh Hashanah prayers, personally. Because it didn't really, it was there before, but like the whole AI revolution that happened a couple years ago was like a whole new thing, that just like a whole new revelation of intelligence. I don't know, I think personally that was because of Rosh Hashanah. That's just my own personal view. But all kinds of things happen every year because of Rosh Hashanah. So do you support what Israel is doing in the name of your religion? Well, first of all, I don't think it's in the name of religion. It's in the name of self-preservation and the defense of millions of lives. But so I won't say that's because of religion. But yeah, I support defending millions of innocent lives. Yeah, I think anyone would support that, pretty much. You can come up as a guest if you want to talk about it, but I can't really find you in the list, so you have to actually request if you want to come up. Anyway, let's see if they have any updates on this food situation, so we can take a look at it in the meantime. So those of us just joining, this tent that we're in is essentially something that's built by this really nice guy named Rabbi Moshe Rabashkin, which is pretty much he pretty much has for about a month and a half during the Jewish high holidays a place that has unlimited free food for anyone. Literally anyone in the street can just walk by and just get unlimited food during this entire time at no charge, pretty much. They don't have so much food now because they're just starting out, but it's pretty much, you can see them setting up for the day. They usually have it 24/7, but I think it's going to pick up pace later. But this is basically the beginning of the new era. And they're going to have basically, they usually have hot food pretty much, literally 24/7 all the time, just for anyone. So it's a cool idea, because there's hundreds of new guests that come from all over the world to be part of the high holidays here. And they stay. There's guests that stay for the whole month. And there's a lot. They need food. They need places to go besides for just restaurants. So he literally pays for all this. Mostly himself. He has a few sponsors, but he mostly pays a few $100,000 to rent out this whole road, have all these seats, and hires all these workers. He has huge storehouses of food that he just does to have unlimited food for everyone. Here, we can see them setting up in this historic moment.
Eggs in the morning, potatoes in the morning.
Here.
It's a dietetic food, you know what I'm saying, with the oil and the grease. And yeah. This is a cool here. Yeah, beautiful, brand new.
Wow.
I think we need another one for eggs and one for potatoes. And I think it works like this, like that. I don't know. Row, row, row your boat merrily down the stream. Okay, this turns over. This could take about a half a case of 38 dozen eggs. Maybe we'll find out. So, yeah. Okay, beautiful. Thank you, Gabi. You're welcome.
Sorry. So he was already doing a video for someone else, so that was convenient that we just got to get. Oh, let's just follow him around.
A brand new line here. This way.
Mind if I come? I'm just gonna follow if you don't mind. Also doing the video.
A beautiful salad bar here. Homemade salad here. The reason for that is this pathway is we put up a beautiful pizza here for the ladies and the young girls. The women will walk in privately, one entrance over there, and over here will be another entrance here. So what is the Chadushim that we have this year? We bought 500 chairs so far. Uniform we bought 2 milk dispensers. We bought anyways, and hot water things. It'll come up.
Security system.
Oh, security system we put up here. 16 cameras, 16 speakers, 18 speakers actually. We're putting up speakers that have the speakers can be playing, music can be playing, and then we put up about I don't know how many cameras. We bought many cameras. So this way, if somebody takes talis and tefillin, the tefillin that disappears every year. Somebody never cried. Somebody took a telephone this year. Somebody took a phone, a $1,200 brand new phone, a young girl, and the guy came back the next day. We had him on camera from the house security, and he gave it back nicely. And he said nicely he's not coming back here again. Although, and he put a confession on the phone that if he comes back again, it'll be hasta la vista, baby. And Baruch Hashem, we didn't have to have him arrested. Anyway, here we're going to be building here the milk kitchen, and we're going to be giving pancakes in the morning, beautiful scrambled eggs, three different sunny side up eggs, onions, peppers, you know, the whole goulash. And for dietetic, we're going to give round bowl eggs. They have to peel it themselves, whoever's on a diet. Anyways, what else do we have here? What else do we have here? For now, right now, that's it for now. And oh yeah, one more, a panini machine to make panini. The machine for panini that takes 30 seconds to make a panini is $9,000. I wasn't spending $9,000. So I one that takes 3 minutes or 2.5 minutes, a double one, $700. $700 is affordable, you know? We watch the budget here. The big budget, at the same time we watch it.
Okay. Opa.
Not bad?
Yeah. No, perfect. Yeah.
Wow, that was convenient. Yeah, so someone else was already doing a video on this, and they were filming it, so we got to literally just hijack their video, which was cool, because we got all the information that we needed, secondhand, but still legit. So yeah, that was pretty cool. So yeah, that person that you saw talking is actually Moshe Rabashkin, the one who's paying for all this, I mean with some sponsorship, but pretty much mostly him. And he's the one who set all this thing up, and he just explained how he's going to have a lot more food. It's pretty much the main operation is like Rosh Hashanah time, but he's trying to like start everything now, basically. So he said he got all this new equipment that he didn't have in the other years, new kitchen supplies to make a lot of eggs constantly and pancakes and stuff. This is on President Street and between Kingston and Brooklyn in Crown Heights. Kingston and Brooklyn Street on President. You can't miss it. Like this entire tent is like the entire block, almost, or at least a third of the block, if not more. So yeah, anyone is welcome to come during the entire month, starting now, going till about a month and a half from now. So yeah, I mean, you can stop by, just get some free food constantly. And yeah, I mean, yeah, if someone wants to come up as a guest, that would be really cool, because I'm kind of getting a little lonely up here after that AK guy got kicked out by TikTok for some reason. So yeah, maybe I'll just... So that was cool that we got that presentation though, because that was I don't know who those guys are. Apparently there's some kind of social media-ists that maybe we'll find out about. If that video goes viral, then we already have a semi-viral video. Can you explain what the holiday symbolizes? Yes, the holiday of Rosh Hashanah coming up is the head of the year. It's not just the beginning of the year, but it's the head of the year. Just like a head includes all the limbs of the body, so to the head of the Jewish year includes all of the days of the coming year. And everything that's going to happen throughout the entire year is determined on Rosh Hashanah, on the head of the year, through the prayer service during the daytime that and the night, but mainly during the day that the Jewish people do. It's like a new year. Yes, it is the Jewish New Year, the Jew year. It commemorates the day that Adam, the first man, was created on the first day of the Hebrew month of Tishrei. The universe itself was created only 6 days prior to that, on the 25th day of the month of Elul, which we're in now, right now on the 28th of that day. But the universe was created 6 24-hour days. One second. Part of New York. Yeah, so Adam was created on the first day of the Hebrew month of Tishrei, which is what the Jewish New Year commemorates, his creation. The universe itself was only created 6 days prior, and by day we mean 24-hour period, not billions of years. The universe is only 5,784 years old, about to be 5,785 in a couple days. So there's no such thing as like this evolution hoax, stuff like that. There's no Big Bang, nothing. It's all made up. The universe is 5,784, almost 85 years old. And then 6 days after the universe was created, Adam was created, the person. And that is what Rosh Hashanah says. There's a line that we say during the prayers that says, this day on Rosh Hashanah is the beginning of your work, which is kind of a questionable thing, because this day on Rosh Hashanah is the beginning of your work. Really, it's 6 days after the world is created. Seemingly the world is his work, not just people. But no, it says the ultimate purpose of the world is for people to do commandments of the Creator. Because when people are created, then they have the ability to do the commandments of the Creator, and the commandments draw down light into the world. The world without the commandments is a concealment of the Creator. It says really at the beginning there was this infinite light filling everything. And the world was not able to exist as a finite entity, so the Creator had to hide this light to make the world. So the world itself, the natural order, is a limitation and concealment, which is actually it's kind of like not a good thing, because it's like concealing the Creator and everything. But the purpose of people being created is to be able to reveal the Creator within the concealment itself, and that's done because the Creator gave us commandments. And when the Creator, who's infinite beyond comprehension, gives us commandments, then by doing those commandments, that creates a connection between finite and infinite, and that allows the finite creations of humans to be able to reveal the infinite light of the Creator within the limitations of the world. And that is what Rosh Hashanah is all about. It commemorates the creation of man, the creation of humans, and specifically stresses the importance of the purpose of humans, which is to do the commandments of the Creator. Because only through the commandments can we, first of all, grasp the Creator. One can never grasp the Creator through intellectual meditation alone. It says the Creator is infinitely beyond any creation. Even angels cannot get to the Creator in any way. It says the only way that we can get to the Creator is because the Creator made himself accessible to us through commanding us to do things. And when we do the commandments, then that's like the Creator himself allowed a bridge. It's like made a bridge between him and us. And that's what the commandments are. And so the Jewish New Year is the idea of we're trying to get the Creator to want to create the world, because it says, which is done through the commandments, because it says the evening before Rosh Hashanah, it says in some Kabbalistic meanings that all of the inner aspect of the universe, the desire the Creator has to continue sustaining the world, is removed, so to speak, and it's hidden, goes back to its source in the Awtsmoos, and only the shell of the universe remains. But the desire the Creator has for the universe is like hidden. And then on the Rosh Hashanah daytime service, then through the shofar blast and the prayers, the Jewish people draw down that will the Creator has for the continued existence of the universe, which is to reveal the Creator in the world through the Torah and the commandments. That desire the Creator has for that is revealed on the Jewish New Year. And that's the day that commemorates the day that man was created, because the humans only have the ability to do the commandments to draw down the Creator. Someone asked, so does this add on the 7th day of the week pretty much? I don't know what you're asking. Adam was created on the 6th day of creation, Friday. Then afterwards there was a Sabbath day. I'm not sure what you mean. Does this add on? Maybe you could elaborate on that, or you could come up as a guest to talk directly. Someone else asked, are you at 770? We were at 770 at the beginning of the live. Now we're on President Street between Kingston Avenue and Brooklyn, I think Brooklyn Street, Brooklyn Avenue. You said after 6 days. Yeah, maybe after 6. I said after 6 days. Here, come up as a guest, Lemon. I'm not sure what you're talking about in the comments. I meant to say the world was created on the 25th of Elul. Then 6 days later, on the sixth day, Adam was created, and that's what Rosh Hashanah commemorates: the creation of man on the sixth day of creation. The Sabbath was the seventh day that happened afterwards, which is a separate issue. But Rosh Hashanah, which is called the beginning of Hashem's work, is the beginning of the purpose of creation, which is the creation of man. Even though the world itself already existed before Rosh Hashanah, but Rosh Hashanah is the idea of the revelation of the Creator, which is the idea of the Creator being revealed through the commandments. So the desire the Creator has for the world and for the revelation in the world of the commandments, that desire is, so to speak, hidden the evening before Rosh Hashanah, and it's our job to draw down that desire the Creator has for the commandments and the Creator has for the world with the commandments in it. And that's what Rosh Hashanah is all about, drawing down the desire that the Creator has to continue wanting the world, and specifically to continue wanting us to do commandments in the world to reveal the Creator. So what year is it today in the Jewish calendar? Well, today, before the new year, is 5,784 since the beginning of time. But in a couple of days, it's going to be 5,785, which is a lot of years. That's pretty, most people I know are barely even half that old. It's a very long time, believe it or not. Some people, for some reason, say it's a young Earth, but I don't know, 5,000 years does not sound very young to me, in my personal opinion. But yeah, pretty much. So does anyone have any questions? If they would like to come up as a guest, that would be really nice, because I'm getting kind of lonely up here after our other guests got kicked out by TikTok. What else is there to say about Rosh Hashanah? I mean, there's a lot written about Rosh Hashanah. Pretty much, there's books, but the main idea is just the idea of drawing down the will that the Creator has for the universe, which is essentially like an entirely new light of the Creator that never existed before in history, not even at the beginning of creation. This new light that's existed every year is greater than all the other years that have ever existed, even greater than the giving of the Torah year. Everything that's happened in the past, it says, was only from a lesser form of light. But every year there's a new, completely infinitely new light that the Jewish people draw down from the Creator to sustain the entire continuation of that year. And that's essentially that light is essentially the will the Creator has for the world. Really, it says the will the Creator has for the world is removed to His essence, and it's just called a ratzon hamuchlat, like an essential will, which an analogy to understand what it is by a person. It says every person, whether they're aware of it or not, it says has a desire to have a house. It says the house, the idea of a person having a house, like a place to be, a place to exist in, that is the essential desire that every person has, which is the driving force for all the decisions that someone makes throughout their entire life, is essentially just because they want to have a house. For whatever reason. It's something that's just like ingrained within nature. There's no logical reason for it. It just is what it is. And even if someone does not know that they have the desire, it says it's so deeply rooted within this person. It's like the essential desire they have. So that's essentially what's described as the essential desire that the Creator has to have a universe where the Creator can be revealed through the commandments. So on the evening before Rosh Hashanah, it says that desire the Creator has, so to speak, it's there, but it's hidden. And our job on Rosh Hashanah is to reveal this ratzon hamuchlat, to reveal this essential desire into all facets of existence. Everyone has a need for belonging, exactly. So even though the Creator has no needs, but so to speak, the Creator chose to set up a system such that He has this desire to exist inside of the finite world through the commandments. And it says it's a desire, it's like kind of beyond logic. It's just a desire the Creator has, which is why He created the universe, in order to be revealed in the world. And that revelation is done only through the commandments that the Torah gives us, that the Creator gives us in the Torah, essentially. So that desire the Creator has, it still exists, Rosh Hashanah, but it's hidden from us, it's hidden from the rest of the world. But the point of Rosh Hashanah, through the shofar blast and through the daytime service, is to draw down that hidden desire of the Creator into all of the facets of the universe and all of reality, in order to give infinite blessings to every person, and even plants and animals, essentially, throughout the entire year. Oh, we have new guests. Welcome. Hi, meet you.
Hi there, how are you? Okay?
Hey, nice to meet you. How are you?
I'm not too
I think
bad.
it's the first time.
I'm just asking, who invited me to your live? I just see what you were saying, and then somebody invited me in.
Oh, brutal. I don't know. A lot of people are inviting people.
Is that your moderators?
I'm not sure. It could have been anyone. I don't know.
Okay, okay. Yeah, I was just listening into your prophecies when I first spoke to you. It was about, I think it was about 2 days ago, regarding the angel of the Lord. Do you remember?
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, that was me. Yeah, I was speaking to you about angel of the Lord. So then, yeah, and I was just looking now what you were saying on your own live, and I just as soon as you come on the screen, I just had a question in my mind. You know, when you say that you rejected the Messiah, when you rejected the Messiah, basically the Christian accept that Jesus was the Messiah, but you reject the Messiah. So who are you waiting for now in the second coming?
So the identity of who the Messiah is completely hidden and unknown by everyone. Even the Messiah himself does not know if he is the Messiah until every detail of the Messiah's mission is complete in all aspects. Even if one minute detail is missing, then no one will ever know who the Messiah is. Only until literally... One second, I think it's lagging. You still hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay, can you see me though?
Yeah, I can hear you. Oh, it's lagging now.
Sometimes it just freezes up, I guess. Here, I don't know what happened. I had a good connection, but the entire app just like froze. Are you still there?
Yeah, you come here. Yes, yes.
You still there? HK?
Yeah.
And everyone else?
I'm here.
Cool. Yeah, I'm not sure what happened. The app just like froze for a second. Anyway, yeah. So there's a concept that no one will ever know who the Messiah is. Even the Messiah himself will not know if he's a Messiah until literally everything that the Messiah has to do is completely finished in every aspect. Even if like 90% is finished, no one will know who the Messiah is. Even if he does like 99% of what he's supposed to do, it's all still, we don't know if it's a Messiah until after every detail is completely finished in every aspect. Until it happens, no one will ever know who the Messiah is. Until it happens.
My next question is, let me get
Welcome. Yeah, we'll get to. Oh, I don't know what happened. Okay, he came in. Anyway, sorry, go ahead.
Yeah, you have to build the temple. Is it a temple before he comes?
Well, he himself is going to build it. That's one of the requirements. But how he builds it is debatable. If he will actually build it manually by hand, other places in the Talmud and the commentary say that the temple will actually descend miraculously from the sky, made out of fire, and it will materialize into a fully built structure through the actions of the Messiah. The Messiah somehow will do stuff that will cause that to happen in a spiritual way. But the building the temple in many places in Judaism says that it will happen miraculously through the Messiah's actions somehow, but essentially through the Creator. Like it'll just materialize out of the sky, in the sky, made out of fire, and then it will form itself into a fully made building and then land on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem.
Right. You know, this at the moment, this current war that's happening in the Middle East, is that one of your prophecies to take out these lands of Lebanon and Yemen and the surrounding countries?
I'm not sure if that's specifically part of the... There is a prophecy that says there's going to be a war of Gog and Magog, but which is, the identity of those nations is highly debatable. A lot of people say it involves ancient Persia, which is modern-day Iran, but it's not exactly... We're not exactly sure if this war refers to that prophecy or not. There's a lot of suggestions that it might, but ultimately, only when the Messiah comes will we know for sure which prophecies correspond to what.
Right. Okay. And okay, let's go for the third question. What we have, I don't know much about this, but I've heard it in a Muslim debate regarding the Dead Sea Scrolls and the Torah that you have. The Torah that you have, is it exactly matching the Dead Sea Scrolls?
No, the Dead Sea Scrolls were not the Torah. They were like some other heretical group. I forgot the name of it, but they were like some other group that was not part of standard Judaism, that they made like their own version of the Torah. And a lot of people say that's the reason why they were buried, because oftentimes Torah scrolls that are not, or things that resemble Torah scrolls that are not actual Torah scrolls, need to be disposed of so that people do not like make mistakes about them. So people say that's probably why they were buried, because they weren't actually valid. They were just like some other group who made up their own stuff. but they're not definitely not. They have some parts of the Torah in them, but they themselves are not to be referenced. They're not to be used as any kind of reference for the Torah.
Right. I'm guessing. Are you in London?
My what?
Are you based in London? Are you in London? Because
No,
I
I'm
saw.
in Brooklyn, New York. As
Oh,
far as I know.
you're booked in New York. Okay.
How are you? London?
Yeah, I'm in United Kingdom,
Oh, I've heard of that. Cool.
England, United Kingdom.
Nice. How's that?
Yeah,
Like
it's
it?
very nice. It's very nice. My home country is Pakistan, but I'm from United Kingdom, where I was British born here.
Cool.
Yeah. So yeah, I was looking into a lot of your clips where there were some wedding parties or engagement parties that you had, and
Yeah.
and I saw you do a somersault on the floor.
Yeah.
Yeah. So so I'm just looking into Judaism prophecies and how the world is turning out to be and what Israel is doing in the Middle East and everything. And so I'm just thinking, how close are we for the second coming?
Or the first coming, technically speaking.
Oh, okay. For you, it's first coming. So for the Christian, it's second coming.
All right.
Yeah.
It's still going to be a coming, so either way.
Oh, I know. How do you pronounce your name? Is it Awtsmoos?
Yeah, my screen name is Awtsmoos. My real name is actually Yaakov. But Awtsmoos in the Kabbalah refers to the essence of the Creator, which is like found in everything and found in each of us as well. So yeah.
Okay. All right, then, Awtsmoos, we'll catch up again, and nice speaking to you again, yeah?
Yeah, nice meeting you. Let me know if you have any questions in the future.
I have any question, I'll get back to you, no problem, okay? Take care.
Cool. Well, that was nice. So yeah, I mean, if anyone wants to join, in the meantime, if anyone else wants to join, that'd be kind of cool. Not even sure what to talk about now. I mean, we talked a lot about Rosh Hashanah. Essentially the idea of Rosh Hashanah is drawing this essential will of the Creator into all of existence. The will of the Creator, the desire the Creator has for a world is similar to the desire a person has for a house, which is just so deeply embedded in a person, even if they don't actually know that they have the desire, it's still like an essential part of them. So the Creator also, so to speak, even though he's not a person, but there's some aspects that he chose to mirror in himself in a person, that the Creator also has this essential desire beyond reasoning, that he just wants to exist in a finite world. Just like we want to exist in a house, have our own place to be, the Creator also wants to exist in the world. I mean, specifically, that was done really mainly by the Holy Temple and by the service that was done in the temple, but that's also done through the commandments that the Creator gave us. The Creator gave humanity commandments, so that when we do the commandments, we're able to connect ourselves with the Creator and mainly connect the Creator with the world. So the commandments are like a pathways that essentially in Genesis it says that Abraham guarded all of the paths of the commandments. There's a verse that says like all of the ways of the Creator. Literally, it means all of the paths. A way is like a road, a path. So the commandments are compared to paths or roads. It says in some other commentaries that I could reference if someone wants. It says just like roads, you could travel both like up and down the roads, and roads are mainly meant to connect. For example, if you have like a palace of a king that's like removed everything, so that king can get to anywhere in the city through the roads, and the roads can branch out into smaller roads to get to the whole kingdom. So the Creator, so to speak, is like, the Creator's everywhere, but anthropomorphically speaking, the Creator, so to speak, like in this high, like metaphysical level. Welcome, Alith. How are you? Hey, I'll tell you that as a.
I'm reviewing a video I just posted on TikTok.
Cool. We're talking about how the Jewish New Year, how we draw the will of the Creator into all of existence. The will of the Creator has to continue sustaining the universe through the commandments. Yeah, so the commandments are called pathways or roads. It says, for example, a king can use roads to travel from his palace to all the parts of the city and the suburbs through roads. So the Creator also, so to speak, metaphorically uses roads to interact with the world. It says, and the roads that the Creator uses to interact with the world are the commandments. It says the command, and on the roads you can travel both up and down. The command through doing the commandments, that creates a pathway, so to speak, for the Creator or the light of the Creator to come down into the world. It like creates every commandment we do is like a unique pathway that opens up a channel for the light of the Creator to come into the world and for us to ascend to the Creator as well. So it goes both ways. So the point is that the commandments are like pathways that reveal the Creator in the world and allow us to connect to the Creator as well. And that's the ultimate purpose of creation, is to do the commandments, because that's the only true way to connect with the Creator. And that's also the way that that's also according to the system that the Creator designed. That's also the only way for the Creator to be revealed in the world, according to how He chose to set things up. So that's why He gave us commandments, to create a connection between us and Him and us. At the beginning of, and that's what on Rosh Hashanah we're drawing down the desire that the Creator has to be revealed in the world, which is done through the commandments. Again, that desire is like beyond logic, and in the evening before the Jewish New Year, that desire essentially is like removed from the world and into the source of the Creator Himself. So it's still there, but it's like removed from us. And it's and our job during the daytime service of Rosh Hashanah is to blow the shofar and to do the prayer service during the day of Rosh Hashanah. And those two things are what reveal the will that the Creator has to continue sustaining the universe and continue wanting us to do the commandments, which is what reveals the Creator in the world. Anew, and that itself, that new will, it's like when that happens, there's like an entirely new will of the Creator, which is a new light that never shone before in history, and that's drawn down into the world, and it gives infinite blessings for the entire year in everything, physically and spiritually, for every person, and even for inorganic matter, and everything that happens in the whole universe is determined based on that new influx of light.
Okay, chill out. Look, without Jacob, you cannot prove anything.
Okay, you say so.
Like, listen. Imagine if you can solidify what you're talking about.
Can you turn down your volume a little bit? Maybe if you're using headphones, maybe like take them off because it's a little too loud for people.
Oh, my phone is real loud.
Yeah, it's a little loud. And by little, I mean a lot. And by a lot, I mean a little. Yeah, so I'm not sure if you're still there or not, but yeah, anyone who wants to come in as a guest as well to continue discussion would be good.
All right, test 1, 2, test.
Oh, that's good. We'll go back.
So I was saying, what if you, as a Jewish Jew, you can solidify everything you speak about, even your scriptures? What then? What would happen then? You would be at the top of the pyramid. You would be number one in the race.
Well, everything that's being said, it has sources in the Jewish books, which are accepted, and the Torah is also proven scientifically to be true as well. So,
okay, it's been said it was an algorithm, but what I'm saying is DNA, a person, a resurrected soul.
cool.
Who could tell you all about the patriarch and what it was to live back then. A human time machine.
Nice.
And then you put in a neural transmitter in his head, and we see what's in his head.
What is in the head? A brain?
Well, the synapses of the electricity, Elon Musk has created an algorithm which detects images, and so has Mr. Zuckerberg. So you're able to produce visual images from your thoughts.
Cool. Anyways, interesting thought. Do you have any questions about the Jewish New Year or anything?
Yes. I have a question. The Jewish New Year. What year is it?
It's going to be the year 5,785 years since the beginning of existence.
Human or terrestrial or the Earth?
Well, human, technically human, but the universe itself was created only 6 days before that, and each day was only 24 hours long. So not so long before after the universe. Only 6 days, and each day was a literal day.
Okay, and what's the name of this day?
It's called the Rosh Hashanah, which means the head of the year.
Why Rosh?
Rosh means head, and
But it also means red.
no, it does not.
Or rose? What about rose?
Rose is not a Hebrew word.
What about Adam?
Adam, yeah, Rosh Hashanah is the day that Adam was created, the first man.
All right, there it is. Rosh redhead Adam.
Okay, what's red about Adam?
Well, there's a story about him being red.
Really? Where did you hear that?
David was red.
But where does it say that Adam was red?
It's in his name. It means ruddy, red,
Oh,
ruddy.
Adom. Okay, I mean, it's related to his name, but that doesn't mean that he was actually red.
Well, I mean, where did redheads come from?
I don't know, genetics.
My
wait.
belief.
Let's welcome a new guest, real quick. Welcome, Kosher. Nice to meet you.
Was machst du, Rabbi?
Hello. Good week. Good week.
My belief is that Adam was made out of the clay in Spain.
Okay.
Do you think that maybe Jews, come from Spain? All the synagogues. Name me one synagogue that's not in Spain.
Are you a rabbi?
Who? Me?
You. Yeah.
Not that I know of.
Oh, okay.
He should be.
I was gonna ask you a kasha.
Okay, you can ask. I may or may not know, but you can try asking
Okay.
anyway.
The first time it mentions the concept of ish in the Torah, is it after Adam or in reference to Adam? Does it say ish ben Adam or Adam ze ish? So here's the follow-up, because if it says ish ben Adam in reference to the first man that came from Chava, that came from Adam, then I would argue that Adam is not human. That we are ben Adam, but Adam himself, at 20 Amos or whatever he was not actually human. But we, and he is B'Tselem Elokim, and we are technically B'Tselem him.
Okay, so how do you know Ish didn't come?
So that's my kasha. My kasha is in the Torah, does it say Ish in reference to Adam before his son or only to his son?
No, I think it was. I'm pretty sure the first time was when he was naming his wife Isha, because I'm going to call her name Isha because Me'ish Lukach Hazos, because she was taken from Me'ish. And Rashi says that verse, the way we know that the Torah was in Hebrew, and that Adam spoke Hebrew, because in other languages you can't say like Ish and Isha, like it doesn't really work. So I'm pretty sure that's the first time. Maybe was there a time before that? I don't think so.
I don't think it mentions Ish in reference to Adam until it mentions Isha that comes from the Shoresh of Ish.
Right. But then when it does mention it, though, that does refer to Adam, because it's Me'ish. It says from an Ish she was taken.
So is that the Torah telling us at that point in time that Adam is now an Ish?
Well, there's 4 different names for a person that refer to different qualities of a person. Adam refers to Chachma, intellect, the wisdom of a person, the wisdom that a person has that other animals don't have. Ish, I believe, refers to the emotion.
Where is that brought down?
This is brought down. I know it's in Kabbalah, but I think there's an earlier source. I had a whole list of references. I can send it to you later. I read it in the Lubavitch Rebbe's talks. They talked about it all the time. Try to find exactly where.
I'm very much interested in Hasidus, but I'm a hardcore misnagid.
No, it does.
It's
a Nigla source. I don't think it's in the Talmud itself, but it's in like a one of the commentaries of the Talmud. I know it's in Kabbalistic sources as well, but I'm pretty sure there's actual like sources from the Talmud commentaries. Oh man, I can't remember what sources. I know that, for example, where it says I think in Parshas Tazria or something, it says it switches up the word Adam and Ish like in the same paragraph or something. It's like it says when there's Adam that has skin, there's an Ish that has this kind of blemish in his skin. Like it's talking about the same thing seemingly, but it keeps on switching between Adam and Ish. And then I think the Zohar says that this teaches that there's different levels of a person. There's like this says the reason why it uses Adam here is to refer to the wisdom, and the reason why it says Ish in another place is to refer to like the emotions of a person. I know that Zohar is one of the primary sources. It's in the Parshas Tazria. There might be other sources as well, but the Zohar gets it from. But essentially, there's Ish, there's Adam, Ish, Eno, Gever, and Enosh. 4 different names for man that refer to the 4 different categories of spheros, like Chachma, wisdom, understanding, then the 6 emotions, and then the power of speech or the power of action, which is the lowest level. I'm pretty sure Enosh is the lowest level.
Can I say something?
Real quick, yeah, if it's related.
Yeah, it is related, Mr. Kosher. If you were to read Genesis 1:25 in the Hebrew, your answer is there. Look at the word beast, and then look at the 2 earths that are there. You will see that one was made out of red dirt.
It doesn't say red dirt, by the way.
Oh, what is the difference between the Adama and Eret?
Adama and Eretz are 2 different words that refer to the... Eretz is like the essence of the earth itself. Adama is like the ground, but it doesn't mean red necessarily.
Oh, so yeah, so Mars never existed, huh?
Mars exists, but it's not part of the earth, believe it or not.
That's why it's called Adama.
No, dude, Mars is not called Adama.
So man was not taken from the east of the garden to tend the garden?
Yes, he was.
Oh, so where was that? Was it Mars?
Was created on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem, according to the Rambam, and then the Creator transported him after his creation.
Then why is he named Adama?
Because he was made out of dust from all over the world. It says the Creator took about an hour to gather dust from all parts of the world to the Temple Mount in Jerusalem.
Did you say worlds?
No, the world. So the Creator took dust from all over the earth, throughout the entire globe. The Creator took a little bit of dust from everywhere to create the body of man. But it was gathered together on the Temple Mount in Jerusalem. That's where the body was created. And then after it was created, then he moved it to the garden, which is south, I believe.
Are Jews scared of Mars?
Nope. I wouldn't want to go there in person.
Okay, so when I say I'm going to create a new heaven, new earth, and they will till the ground.
What does it say that they will till the ground? It's on the same verse. That's a different verse.
Well, in this case, their worm will never cease to quench.
Okay, this is related. This is not
to
related.
Mars. This is where I'm talking about Mars.
Well, the new heavens and the new earth is just going to be a new depth to the same heavens and earth we have now. It's going to be this earth that we're in now, but there's going to be like a whole new world within this earth itself. That's what the commentary says.
Did you know that Mars has better soil for growing crops?
Theoretically, but the sunlight and other atmosphere problems and lack of water is a bit of an issue. Oh,
not if you have an atmosphere and also a fake sun.
Good luck with that. But yeah.
China, number 1.
Yeah, maybe. We'll see.
Okay, so let's go back to the new year.
Yeah.
Okay, so now what? It's your new year.
Well, it's not yet. A couple days. But yeah.
And then?
Then after that, there's like a lot of other holidays right after that. Then there's a new year. Then that holiday lasts for 2 days straight. After that, 7 days later is the Yom HaKippurim, the Day of Atonement, which is where all the sins are wiped away. I mean, really, whenever someone returns to the Creator throughout the entire year, the Creator forgives a person. But Yom Kippur has like a special quality that just the day itself atones for those who return. I mean, someone has to actually not contradict the atonement, but the day itself has the power to affect atonement because it's like an essential connection to the essence of the soul that wipes away all blemishes. And then all these holidays that happen, there's a few holidays, but all the holidays that happen are essentially the idea of bringing in the light of the Creator into the world. like the essence of again on Rosh Hashanah, there's an entirely new infinite light that's drawn down into the world that's greater than any light that's ever existed in history. But on Rosh Hashanah, it's in the world, but it's not like fully revealed. Then Yom Kippur comes along and brings out the essence of the soul. And in the times of the temple, the high priest would light some incense inside the holiest chamber of the temple on that day. And that incense, it says, was like a physical manifestation of that infinite energy that was drawn down on Rosh Hashanah. So it was already becoming like more physical into the world itself. And then 5 days later, or 4 days after, but 5 days later including, then you have the holiday of Sukkos, which lasts for 8 days. And that's when we build these cool roofs all over the place. And these roofs called schach is like, the idea of Sukkos is for the Jewish people to build little huts that have a few walls plus a roof made out of plant material. Not a full roof, it has to have some openings. But that idea of that roof is the physical manifestation of the infinite light that was revealed on Rosh Hashanah. So Rosh Hashanah, the infinite light was still created, but it wasn't fully manifested in everything. But then when we have Sukkot, we actually have the schach is the same gematria, same numerical value as the number of shofar blasts that we blow in Rosh Hashanah. I think can't remember if it was 130, 120. But the point is that the schach is like the physical manifestation of the shofar blasts, which contain the infinite light within them. And so Sukkot is the idea of physically drawing that down into the physical world, into the schach, and then when we eat in the sukkah, then that food that's in the sukkah like becomes part of us, so like the infinite light becomes part of us. And then there's also other commandments where the Jewish people take a bunch of plants, like a citrus fruit plus some other plants, and like wave it while they're in the sukkah, and then that act of waving those plants during Sukkot also like draws down the energy from the schach, and then it goes into all the different directions that someone waves those plants in, which is like throughout the entire world. So yeah, I mean, basically, that's what these holidays are. There's the Rosh Hashanah, New Year, then there's Yom Kippur, then there's Sukkot, then there's in more holidays. There's the day that we finish the Torah is after that. I mean, really, it says. One second, we made this quarter past. Yeah, so there's other holidays called the Shemini Atzeres, the 8th day after Sukkot, which is its own holiday. It follows Sukkot, but it's also another festive holiday where we have our own festive meal and stuff. And then after that, then we have a day called the Simchas Torah, the happiness of the Torah, which is when we finish reading the entire Torah. Every week for about 53 or 54 weeks, give or take, it's kind of debatable. The Jewish people read a little bit of the Torah scroll every week, and every week they read a little bit more, and then at this day of the year they actually finish it, and then they start over from the beginning. So that's the culmination of all the holidays.
Are you familiar with the high Sabbath?
The high Sabbath, maybe, but not in that terminology that you
What
just
about the dark one?
The what?
The dark one.
The dark Sabbath? No.
It's Shabbat. I forgot the other. Okay, what about noon? What is noon? Does noon ring anything to you?
Noon is the time of day that's after 11, before 1. Is that what you mean?
Yeah, but in your Jewish world.
I mean, there's a letter called noon, which is...
No, not none. Just like noon.
No, I'm not sure what that is.
So, no ringing at midday.
I mean, midday, but the word noon is not a Hebrew word. I mean, besides the letter of noon.
I gotta talk to you in Jew. Hold on.
In Jew or in Hebrew?
Sohar. Sohar. No, that's midday, yeah. THTSOHAR.
Sohar.
Dual double light.
Cool.
Well, that's what you're waiting for.
Is it?
Well, didn't you say that there was going to be a light that is brighter than the other lights? And
Yeah. I don't think it's called Sohar specifically. Hi, welcome, Asher. Nice to have you. Shana Tova, Masuka. Good, happy, sweet New Year. You're there?
Oh, me?
Maybe? Yeah.
Oh, hi. Shana Tova, Matuka, for sure, all the way.
Coming on.
So what's the topic? What are you guys talking about?
We were pretty much just talking about the Jewish New Year, and how there's like the Creator that's revealed. Then, pretty much, when we talk about the other holidays a little bit.
Yeah. I tried to really. I mean, I know what the Chazal have to say about the whole thing, but then I asked myself, how can I understand it like in like a non-gullus mode? You know, like how it was actually practiced in Eretz Yisrael. Because a lot of these things are like the liturgy. A lot of the stuff was really solidified by Amoraim. So they're already outside of Eretz Yisrael. Even, I mean, there's times of like because people think that Rosh Hashanah is the only Chag that was kept for 2 days, like in the land. But there was a time that it was only kept for 1 day.
Really?
Yeah, I mean, like I read it. This is where I resort to my art scroll.
Maybe like desert, maybe, or in Mishkan Shiloh.
No. And like in the base of Mikdash, it was kept for 1 day. It was only later on that they started keeping it for 2 days,
Right.
Because of a discrepancy.
The surrounding cities, I think they kept for 2 days, but not in the. Right.
No, but that's for every Chag. Wait, hold on. Like every Chag was like the surrounding cities, when they couldn't determine when Rosh Chodesh was, they kept it for 2 days. But it was like Mamish Rosh Hashanah, because they'll say Rosh Hashanah was always kept for 2, even though they didn't have the whole thing of the Samaritans lighting fake bonfires on the mountains, whatever. So like Rosh Hashanah is an interesting chag because it doesn't appear in the Chumash like that. It doesn't. It's Yom Trua. So it seems that Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur doesn't really make sense in Gullus. Why? Because what are we really being judged on in Rosh Hashanah when in the Chumash doesn't mention Olam Haba? It doesn't mention Gehenna. So like, what are we really being judged on? So I think that what we're being judged on Rosh Hashanah, and it's like sort of sealed on Yom Kippur, is being allowed to live in the land another year. It's like we renew our lease in these 10 days, 10 whatever. We're making the case that God should allow us to live in the land because where did Olam Haba and Gehenna actually come from? It's the Geula and Gullus, right? I mean, that's where it stems from. But like in Gullus, these things really don't make sense, so they have to make them applicable in some way. And they created things like Kol Nidre, let's say. I mean, Kol Nidre doesn't appear in the Gemara. There was something similar in the time of the Geonim, but it's a fully like post 13th century idea. The way it's kept nowadays, that we make it more personal, but from a Torah perspective, it's more national. And if God finds us that we pass whatever, like we were firm enough that year, then He allows us to live in the land another year. And if He feels that we failed as a nation, then that's when occupation comes. That's when exile comes.
Asher, have you ever read Amos 8:2?
Wait, at least can you turn the volume down a little bit? Because it's loud.
I don't know. I mean, I'm sure I have.
Yeah, you should give it a gander.
Yeah, it's an interesting thought, Azure. Yeah, I was thinking a similar thing. That's pretty much like we're being judged for like just. I mean, not only the land, but just continued existence. I mean, in Chassidus it says it's the judgment for not only humanity, but the judgment for everything that's going to happen in the entire world throughout that year, like all natural occurrences, like all like everything that's going to happen to someone or to anything, like the things that happen from heaven, so to speak, like things that we don't have control over. Everything that happens, everything that just kind of happens, is determined on Rosh Hashanah. We still have the effort.
The question is where they got that from. I mean, I was asked, so like, where is it nuance? Is it
It's nuances from the liturgy of the services. It says all by kol by olam, all the inhabitants of the world to come before Hashem like a sheep. It's in like Chassidus, but it's based on different nuances in the text of the liturgy, which was written by the Anshe Knesset Gedolah, essentially. It's
Are you sure? We don't even know that the Anshe Knesset Gedolah wrote that, like the liturgy. I'm pretty sure it's fully from the time of the Amoraim, and like mainly, as a matter of fact, like probably, like most of our liturgy nowadays comes from the Geonim, like in terms of how things are worded out.
The Amida, for example, we know is from Anshe Knesset Gedolah, and the Birkas Krishna.
We know? I don't know if we know. I don't think we know.
Well, in the Gemara, it mentions. Anyway, welcome, Noam. Okay.
I think that's a troll. Yeah. So it's interesting. Like on the Amida, like if you look for the actual wording, like in the Gemara, it mentions I think the first two brachas and the last two brachas, and then it tells you basically what the other like brachas should contain, but it doesn't tell you the actual wording. So it seems that regarding the Amida, people had back then, people would freestyle and then end with the last portion of the bracha. I don't know, like if you ever looked into this, but it seems that the Siddurim we have nowadays was basically compiled. I think the oldest Siddur we have is Rav Chai Gaon. It's one of the Gaonim, but it wasn't so set in stone. There is that final bracha. Because Shemona Esrei is 18, but we actually have 19.
Yeah, the one that was added to the word.
Yeah. So that one, it says, who knows how to compose a bracha for, like, Al Malshinim, for, like, heretics or whatever. Sorry?
Is it Gamliel who made it, or someone, or Zakkai?
Yeah, regardless, it was someone with smicha who had the authority to make it. I'm surprised they didn't just change it to 19 instead of 18. 18 probably sounds more from, like, Chai or whatever. But,
was it? No, in the Gemara, there's a story of like one of the students who added like when we say Hakel, Hagadol, Gibor, Hanora, we say the great, the mighty, and the awesome. But he added like three other adjectives. I forgot what they were. But then the other guy said, "Oh no, like don't add stuff because we can only say what Moshe. We can only use the same language that Moshe himself used to refer to Hashem. We can't like add our own adjectives."
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah, because the whole thing is there's Siddurim that have different renditions, but they gave you the structure. For example, well, I guess they break their own rules. Like, this whole notion that we're not supposed to have like bekashots or like tachanonim on Shabbos, right? Yeah, but everybody breaks the rule. Like when we say shaberachs and stuff. Huh?
Yeah, for personal matters. In the Misha Berach, though, we change it. We don't actually ask for Hashem to heal. We just like mention the idea of healing. We say, "Oh, Shabbos himil zok." It's Shabbos, so we're not going to cry out, but there's going to be a speedy recovery. We're not actually asking. This phone is so brutal.
Yeah, I hear you. Yeah, how about the tefillah in Medina then?
I might have to sit for a second. I might have.
Hey Asher, when are you going to stop pretending to be Jewish?
When I convert everyone to Judaism, then I could have them convert me to Judaism. It's like
stop pretending to be Jewish.
When I convert everyone to Judaism, then I could have them convert me to Judaism. It's like I'm making.
Why don't you go to Jesus, your Messiah?
I'm there already. Me and Jesus are like homeboys.
Oh yeah?
That's right. Jesus is my homeboy.
Don't lie to me.
Yeah, he's not my God or Messiah, but.
Be a sanctuary.
Hi, welcome back. Yeah, my phone has like Phoenix running in the background. It got crashed. Did I miss anything?
No.
Just I'm trying to offend Jerusalem and Israel.
Yeah, no, this guy called me a fake Jew. He says I'm a fake Jew.
Oh.
You don't even have a beard.
So, the Ramchal didn't have a beard. There's
Look how beautiful Awtsmoos looks. He looks like a real Jew.
You're still Jewish,
It's kind of
dude, if you don't
trivial.
have a beard. Judaism is part of who you are. It's beard or not, dude.
Aren't you supposed to grow your beard?
But the simple fact that you don't know that, like 11th, like unless you're Lubavitch, according to the Tzemach Tzedek, you're supposed to have a beard. But if you're not Lubavitch, you could trim, right? It's
Yeah, there's ways of trimming it. I mean, the main thing is because the Torah says not to use like a razor, but to cut the beard. But there's ways of trimming it without that people do.
Yeah. So yeah. I mean, halacha says to destroy means to pluck or to shave.
Right.
So whatever Moshe Feinstein says, you could use an electric razor.
Yeah.
And I mean, the Rambam says that, at least regarding a nazir, that as long as like the hair, like you're able to bend it on each other, then it counts. That's how short it. I mean, it should be allowed.
Bend the hair back, and then you can
Right.
cut it to that point, but not
Correct.
like completely. Not like with an actual shaver, but with like you said, electric.
Correct. Yeah. So yeah. So what were we talking about? Oh,
New
yeah.
Year.
Wait, Alith, your sound is like way too loud. Could you like maybe lower it or something? Or
Why do you say that? Is it really loud?
way louder than everyone else? I don't know what
It's not your phone?
No, I could hear the difference between you and other people.
Yeah. So you have the microphone like inside your mouth.
I do. I actually had it.
That's Torsh about peh for real. Anyways, so the tefillah in Medina, is like for sure a form of tachana.
Wait, Alith, you're way too loud. I was going to mention that prayers for communal matters. I forgot the source for it. I've heard it from different rabbis. I don't know what the written source is, but I heard that on Shabbat you could ask for personal prayers if it involves something for many people at a time, but not for one, not like personal matters for one person, just if it's like matters. Cause I think there's actually halacha that you're even allowed to go to like city halls and you're allowed to go to like government buildings on the Sabbath itself in order to take care of community matters. As long as there's no malacha that's broken. I mean, you can't write things down, obviously, but you can talk to like government officials about like the community needs, even though you're not supposed to talk on Shabbos. It says you're not even supposed to talk about your own personal businesses or your own personal affairs. But when it comes to doing things to help the community, you could go and talk to like government officials about like making plans for the community. So I'm pretty sure when it comes to prayers, you could also pray for the community as a whole, but not for a specific person.
So that would have to be b'diavad for sure. I mean, I don't think in the Gemara mentioned. I've heard for sure the Rambam doesn't make that distinction. Like, not that I care, but there's many people who don't say the prayer for the state of Israel, and they don't say it not because they're not Zionists, but because they feel that this is an actual prohibition. Like, mind you, like Chazal break this rule all the time. Like Sim Shalom. Like there's parts of the Yamida that you're. Yeah, so they can break their own rule.
Yeah, I think the last three blessings are essentially blessings of. I mean, there's the blessing of Thanksgiving and the blessing of the avoda. I think is a communal blessing because we're not asking. The other ones we're asking like for our personal needs, but I think the last three we're asking like for the blessing of the avoda to return the service to the Holy Temple. That's more of a communal thing, and then the blessing of Thanksgiving. We're not really asking; we're just giving thanks. And the shalom, I'm not sure the reason for that. I'm guessing it's because maybe peace for everyone. I think, but I have to look into that actually.
So, but what I heard is that Chazal, because they developed the rule, they could their own attempt at it. They could break the rule because it's saying that we can't do it, but if they instituted it as part of the Amidah, and then it doesn't count. But in terms of personal, tachanonim, like tachanun stam is a personal thing. It's not like nowadays they tell you what to say. But in the old days, nefilat apayim was your own personal time to talk to God. So. Yeah, so in terms of
Mikdash, though, but after the base of Mikdash, I'm pretty sure the Rambam was the one who said that the Anshe Knesset Haggadolah were the ones who wrote the actual liturgy.
no, there's a medrash. There's a medrash that goes further. It says that Avraham established Shacharis, like Yitzhak Mincha, but I don't think people believe that.
Yeah, he established the idea.
Wait, go back and say that again. What did Abraham establish?
I don't think he had an actual liturgy, though, for prayer. He just established the idea of praying during the morning, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah. So the understanding, because he's asking me to repeat it, is that Abraham established the first portion of the morning prayer, or the first portion of prayer, the morning prayer, and then that Yitzhak established Mincha, and that Yaakov established Mariv.
Yeah.
Whoa.
I don't think it says the actual liturgy, though. He made like the idea.
Right. Yeah.
Okay, bro. There it is. There's your. Okay, that's three, right?
Yeah, the third one is optional. I don't even know.
I mean, it
Yaakov
was
gets an
optional,
optional
but I think nowadays,
Why does Yaakov get an option?
as a chova, then it's for us it's obligatory, even though.
Oh, it doesn't appear like that in the Gemara, though.
But
I mean,
for
that's-
us, from the Gemara, it says optional. But because the Jewish people accepted it as a chova, then it's for nowadays it's a chova. But really, the technical status is option. It's called optional. But yeah,
So that's according to modern day Judaism. It's like only because the Jewish people accept something,
Why is it optional?
like it has to be like ratified by the Beis Din HaGadol like this. I mean, the Jewish people could accept like not keeping Shabbos too, which they have. Like if you go by Rov, and we don't change the way we keep Shabbos. It's that in terms of Minhag Yisrael Torachi or Minhag Yisrael Kechalacha, that's only when the Beis Din HaGadol ratifies it, like takes a custom like that. Hold on a second.
Should be communication.
Do you guys believe in sign language prophecies?
I'll find her. I don't know. I'm trying. Oh, maybe. Oh, maybe yeah. Now it's working. Yeah, it's look like.
All right, I'll give it a try.
Not challenge it. Yeah.
what do you mean by sign language prophecies, dude?
Okay, so like let's say I pray in the morning and I'm actually prophesying sign language or they're expressive, like an act,
Because you see her. It's Harry. Maybe they
I
didn't have
mean-
pressure.
For instance, whenever like was it Ezekiel that had to lay on his side for like I don't know how many days, and then for Israel.
Not sure exactly what you're referring to. I mean, there's prophecy.
All right, I'm back. I'm sorry.
The concept of the Rambam says that when a prophet would have prophecy, sometimes they would do. Actually, I'm not sure if the Rambam says it, but there's some commentary that says that when a prophet would have a prophecy, they would have sometimes do actions that to like solidify the prophecy. Like there's certain. I think almost all prophets they do something, some kind of physical action that is related to their prophecy to like bring it into this world kind of thing. But I mean, the prophecy itself happens just from the mind, from the creator speaking to you. But then afterwards, the prophets usually do something to bring it into reality.
Okay, perfect. So who prophesied Moses?
The creator prophesied Moses.
Okay, where that shouldn't
Wait,
Abraham
hold on.
had prophesied Moses?
Abraham had prophecy as well. Yes.
Okay, then if you can't pinpoint them, they're probably expressive prophecies.
Not sure what you mean.
That sometimes actions are louder than words.
Sometimes what?
Sometimes the actions in the Torah are louder than the words.
Okay. Maybe.
Think about it. Why would you do all these rituals for nothing?
Which rituals are you talking about now?
My God, where do I start?
Start.
About tzitzis or whatever they're called.
What? One more time?
Those little strings on the side of your shirt.
Oh, that's because the creator commanded us to do that.
Yeah, it's a ritual.
Yes, a ritual that the creator commanded us because in order to reveal the creator's light.
I'm not. Yeah. So I'm not saying that it's bad. What I'm saying is that through those expressive things, that's prophecy.
Well, it's not prophecy; it's a commandment. There's a difference.
A commandment. Okay, it's a fulfillment.
So in terms of like stuff that we talk about, Awtsmoos, like on why I have a different approach on a lot of things. I mean, just so you know where I'm coming from, I'm not necessarily just trying to go against Chabad. I mentioned before that my son goes to Lubavitch here, like LEC in South Florida. Yeah, like I'm not anti-Chabad. But
The new guest.
we take more like of a halachic approach. Like in Eretz Yisrael, like I learned a lot by Temanim, who introduced. I mean, I learned in like many Ashkenazi yeshivas, but I didn't really, you kind of learn the same thing. I never really started asking questions till I got exposed to a more like source-based halachic system. Meaning, now this is not how Chabad sees it. This is not how most people see it. I would say maybe, I don't know, maybe less than 5% of the Orthodox world sees it like this, that halacha comes from the Beis Din HaGadol, and only the Beis Din HaGadol. So there's nothing that we can do. So like when you say like, okay, we took it upon ourselves to make like Marv obligatory. That's like a chovah now. Like we don't have the authority to do anything. We can't change one halacha. Like Chadash Asher Min Torah, like anything that we try to come up that's not like that doesn't come from the Beis Din HaGadol or is ratified by the Beis Din HaGadol is not a halacha. I mean, it could be a minhag like of your own community. So people in my group, and I would say in my group, probably the most notable rabbi who teaches like we do is like Rabbi David Bar Chaim. And yeah, the Rabbi Chaim Ovadia, Rabbi Yonatan Halevi. There are more, I guess they're more like Sephardi rabbis. But Sephardi by the Rambam, not Sephardi by post Shabtai Tzvi. But so this is why if it doesn't appear like people who are not so big on Kabbalah and Hasidus typically stick to Chazal. And by Chazal, we don't just mean any rabbi, like we mean people who have smicha, like and before. Like we don't even consider like Amarayim Chazal, because Amarayim can't really create anything new. The only way they can challenge a Mishnah is by bringing a Brisa. So that means they themselves understood that the only way to have a voice is by using liturgy of people who had smicha that just didn't make it into the Mishnah. And like the accepted Brisas become Toseftas. So this is why like we have a different approach, I guess a hashkafic approach to halacha.
Let me ask you guys something. Which one would be the Catholic and which one would be the Protestant? I love that in Judaism there's also separation.
Well,
because it makes you guys hypocrites.
All right.
I mean, that's how we all get along. We kind of all are. But Asher, it sounds like you're someday gonna get there.
All right.
All that work. Let's get that light.
Interesting. I'm pretty sure all rabbis that I know of, like, once something's been accepted by all the base. Okay, we move places. Because essentially, the rabbis that we have today in the Beis Din is an extension of the Beis Din HaGadol. I mean, the actual Beis Din HaGadol, the Sanhedrin, pretty much became like the Tanaim, and they appointed other people, shluchim, to be their representatives. And then even though we don't have the original smicha nowadays, but we still have some kind of shlichus, an agency of the original Beis Din HaGadol. This is the reason that's mentioned in the Torah in the beginning of Choshen Mishpat, for like why the rabbis nowadays have the authority. So when all of the rabbis in the world decide on the same thing, then that's essentially the same thing as the decision of the Beis Din HaGadol.
Hold on. So in terms of the Torah, it says clearly there's people nowadays. I don't know if rabbis even existed in the time of the Torah. Right? I mean, the title rabbi wasn't resurrected till Sfat in the 16th century. But in terms, anything a rabbi could decide nowadays, like any hediot, like could decide, like in terms of dine mamanos or like dine nefashos, they have no authority in. Meaning that there's a distinction between smicha and non-smicha. It's. I mean, I would like to show, like, for you to show me in the Gemara or in the Rambam or even in the Torah, where or even Shulchan Aruch, that rabbis today have any authority that we ourselves don't give them. right? Like if you belong to a community, if I don't know, like if the Rav Soloveitchik was your rabbi, you listen to Rav Soloveitchik, but that doesn't mean he speaks for all of Klal Yisrael. Like it's not like the Rambam writes in Hilchos Mamrim. He says, "Beis Din Hagadol Sheber Yerushalayim Chem Iker Torah Shebal Peh." That it's like mamish only the Beis Din Hagadol that has the authority, and then he gives examples of what their authority is, right? And they ruled from the place that God chose, from the base of Bechira, like in the Lishkas Agazis, and then he says they're responsible for Minchagim, Takanas, and Gezeras. I mean, that's pretty much Torah Shebal Peh, right? So the only thing we can do is comment on that. We can't add to it. We can't take away from it. I mean, as a matter of fact, if you add to Torah Shebal Peh, like you're also about Tosef, because adding to Torah Shebal Peh is like adding to Torah. But nowadays, like people have invented. I mean, they made Judaism quite difficult. All right, like being in a state of aveilus during the Sphira. Right, there's no halacha to do that. There's people putting aside marriages. I mean, marriages from the Torah to be in a state of mourning during the counting of the Omer is not even a minhag. A minhag you would assume has roots. Like it's just a custom. Like I don't like saying custom means minhag, because minhag actually has authority if it's established by the court. I mean, it's like minhag like kehalacha. I mean, who said this? Amorai. I mean, Tanaim said this.
Yeah. So
go
in the beginning of the Torah, so the beginning of Choshen Mishpat of the Torah, he explains the authorities rabbis have, and even the Rambam himself says that if all of the rabbis in the world get together and agree, then they can bring back the original smicha that existed in the times of the Sanhedrin. The problem is that it's hard to get the rabbis to all come together to agree on the same smicha.
So what does he say before that? He says Neri Li, like it seems to me.
Yeah. No, so
Yeah.
it seems to the Rambam, but that's accepted. No one
So
argues.
but it appears nowhere. It appears nowhere in the Talmud. So basically, he's saying that.
Reference to the Rambam, so I gave you a reference to the Rambam.
No, correct, but the Rambam's only important to us because he's bringing down, something from the Gemara. It's not his own personal opinions.
No, but if other people don't argue with the Rambam, that means that everyone else agrees with the decision. I mean, it's based on implications.
Of course they argue. By the simple fact that we wouldn't accept the Sanhedrin today, right? I mean, there was like Adenstein, the Rav Adenstein Saltz was the Nasi of the Sanhedrin. Who accepted the Sanhedrin? Nobody. Like some Noites. The understanding that there could be a Beis Din Hagadol just because we want there to be one. There's many things that Rambam writes in Mishneh Torah that has nothing to do with halacha. Like Hilchos Deos tells you don't eat fruit, or it gives you healthy advice, but it appears like halacha aleph, halacha beis. But we know that if it's not tied to something that the Beis Din Hagadol said, it's not a halacha.
The Beis Din Hagadol themselves made other agents, not smicha itself.
It doesn't say that. I mean, just show me where it says that.
The Torah in the beginning of
No, but the Talmud has to say that.
It has sources. I think it's sourced in the Gemara as well. I think it's a statement from Abaya and Bava Kama. And at the beginning of Bava Kama, I think 4a. I think maybe around 4a. I remember reading it in yeshiva. Abaya himself mentioned there was a whole case in the Gemara. It says, "Oh, can we do Dine Kanasos or something? Can we do the fines?" And then there was a Havamina to say that we can, because Abaya said that we, which was an Amora, said we are the shluchim of the Beis Din Hagadol.
So the Shulchan Aruch says the exact opposite. That in terms of fines, I'm trying
to say that was
Dini Mamanos. I mean, Dini Mamanos, you need smicha for.
I was saying that there was a Havamina to say that we can do fines. And then later they had a different reason for why we can't do it. But in the Havamina, Abaya brought up the point that was never argued in the Gemara. The Abaya said that because we are the shluchim of the Beis Din Hagadol. It happens to be for other reasons we cannot actually do the fines nowadays. But the point is that this was brought up.
Abaya is not a Tana, by the way. I mean, Abaya is an Amora.
I know. I'm saying, but it's in the Gemara. In the Gemara.
No, it could be in the Gemara, but if it's not, if it's not in the Mishnah, if it's. So
they don't accept the Gemara, only accept the Mishnah?
No. Of course we accept the Gemara, but why do we accept the Gemara? Not just if it appears there, it becomes halacha. The reason we have the Gemara is the Gemara argues against the Mishnah. It argues against Tanaim, but how does it argue it? It brings up brises. Basically, Tanaic statements that didn't make it into the Mishnah, because they knew that their own personal opinions carry no weight, right? Maybe for their own Talmidim, it does, but it doesn't for all of Klal Yisrael. So the only way they can argue against the Mishnah is by bringing another text of Mishnaic times. and that's it. That's her whole authority. This is why there's a lot of things. I mean, I always question, like, where's the source to get drunk on Purim, right? I mean, it's not in the Mishnah.
Can I just say something before I leave? Look, host, I just want to thank you for feeding the poor in the times of hunger. And if you are Chabad, I think that you guys are doing excellent work here in this world. Asher, bro, you you are the reflection of affliction. You are a gatekeeper and keep the hungry in
Your
hunger.
mom, your mother.
So I hope that one day
Just relax.
when you reach your enlightening level
Don't insult me.
and learn that you're gonna be
Don't insult
alone without your brothers in Chabad,
me. Don't insult
then and only then you'll see that.
me. I just had to block you. I mean,
I
sorry.
think he's a little tipsy. I mean, he started you know, Ein Simcha El Basar V'Yayin. He's already started drinking.
Exactly. Yeah, he left.
Fine.
I didn't pick him out. He left on his own. I can show you the Gemara in Bava Kama. No, I don't think there's no Mishnah that argues with. I mean, there's nothing that contradicts the statement of Abaye. But I mean, Gemara is essentially also a tradition from the Tanaim that maybe it wasn't always written in Brises, but there was like they had teachers, and those teachers had teachers back to the Tanaim. So Abaye was just making a statement. I mean, the original source is just attributed to Abaye himself, but I'm guessing Abaye didn't make it up. I mean, I'm guessing he
There's
actually.
some things like the extra counting. I mean, nowadays, I mean, it says that that women nowadays count like a zivagedola, like during the counting like of Nida.
Yeah.
But it says that it's like the Amoraim says that it's a minhag that the daughters of Israel took upon themselves. It appears nowhere in the Mishnah. Right? It was a custom for that specific community, but nowadays it's become more like widespread.
The idea, like, when the Jewish people accept it, then that's the concept that it's like it's. I mean, if it's accepted with all the Jewish courts,
But what does that mean? There is no Klal Yisrael and Gullus, you know, from that perspective. Like Talmud Yerushalmi attacks.
No, sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, Talmud Yerushalmi attacks Talmud Bavli. It says the Talmud of Eretz Yisrael is superior. The Talmud, like the Torah from Eretz Yisrael is superior. The Torah from Bavel is inferior. In terms of unity, there was never unity by Sfarad and by Ashkenazim. This is like a Shlomo Karbach thing. Like now there may be some sort of Achdus post Shlomo. There's no unity. I mean, there wasn't back then, so there's no consensus. Like even if there was unity, like, you would need smicha. But anyways, I'm not trying to debate you. I'm saying that where we differ, that this is my halachic hashkafic approach, like versus the Lubavitch approach. So for us, it seems that the Lubavitch approach is a bit chumradik.
By the way,
Who?
it's also like the Litvish and like Sephardic.
Oh yeah. No, for sure. I think Litvaks do it less than Hasidim for sure, just because you guys keep on building it like with like Nister with all these, you know, secret ideas and stuff. Well, I think
Nistar is accepted by Litvish as well. The Vilna Gaon.
no,
like,
right, yeah, but not as authoritative. You know, not in terms of like I have to do this, you know, because like my Admor told me to do it. You know, I mean, they understand.
The Shulchan Aruch, I think, the commentaries of Shulchan Aruch, the Shach Taz, other commentaries. I think the Ramah quotes the Zohar for reasons why we have to wait an hour between meat and milk. There's no source for that in the Gemara, but it says in the Zohar because it says they're not supposed to be eaten in the same hour for meat after milk.
Oh, that's an interesting point. I have to look into that. I mean, not that it would change much, but I'm surprised the Ramah quoted anything
It's the Ramah. I think it's
for
Ramah.
like Minhag Ashkenaz.
It might have been another
So, like-
commentary. I'm pretty sure it's the Ramah though. But yeah, I'm pretty sure it's the Ramah. I have to double check on that. But yeah, either the Ramah or one of the
The
other
reason
ones.
I'm pretty sure the Ramah didn't quote it is just because like in the time of the Ramah, they didn't have the like in Ashkenaz they didn't have the Zohar to much later. You know, so yeah, I mean I get that. With the what?
Might have been the Shach, but I thought I'm pretty sure it was the Ramah. It could be the Shach.
Yeah, no, but it's an interesting conversation. Most people don't like if they could appreciate what we're talking about. This is high caliber stuff that you're not gonna get on TikTok, but it for sure
Right.
could get people to ask questions, and at least you can know what not to do. You know, I mean, either way, my way or your way, you know. But we think that from my camp, what makes you a kosher yid is Torah Shabbat Peh, Torah Shabbat Tav. But Torah Shabbat Peh comes from the Beis Din Gadol. Torah Shabbat Tav is the Chumash, and then everything else is optional. I mean, that's how I define modern orthodoxy.
But the whole point for Torah Shabbat Peh is that it's about Peh. That not everything is something to the tradition. It all goes back to trusting the rabbis to tell you what Torah Shabbat Peh is, because it really you can't just rely on understanding.
So I disagree. I mean, I think it's called Torah. Here, first of all, like by Chazal, it's rarely called Torah Shabbat Peh. It's called like once or twice. It's called Divrei Sofrim. It's called Halacha. But anyways, the reason it's called Torah Shabbat Peh is because it was transmitted from Beis Din to Beis Din orally. Why? Because as long as you have smicha, a court of greater wisdom and number, like you could change halachas. That means it was meant to remain fluid. That's the only reason it's called Torah Shabbat Peh. It's not that it's just like a bunch of like stories. I don't consider midrashim or agadata part of Torah Shabbat Peh.
What is it?
It's like the fluff. I mean, it's not by the simple fact that they're essentially disposable. Like meaning you don't have to accept every medrash. Like we don't even have a criteria for midrashim we accept and midrashim we don't accept. I think the son of the Rambam writes in his
halachic midrashim like sifrei. There's actual.
Oh, that's different. Yeah, but that's not okay. So this is extremely educational. Most people don't know that the term medrash is quite a new term the way we use it nowadays. The correct term is agadata. So yes, there's midrashei halacha and midrashei agada. So sifri mechilta is midrashei halacha. That for sure is halacha. That means I mean actually, Messianics would use that word better than we do nowadays. Because when they say that we're going to go study, they say that we're going to go medrash. So it's interesting because midrash means like from the drash, like from the Torah. So midrashei halacha are like halachas we extract from the Torah itself. Like nowadays when we say medrash, we mean like midrash rabbah, like agadata, like pure like folklore legend. So we're both right.
Okay, I wanted to hear from Michael. I welcome Michael. How are you?
Yeah. What's up, Asher? Why are you causing trouble?
Oh no, I'm no, this is how we sharpen ourselves.
You go and cause trouble with us all the time.
Hold on, there's an echo. I'm going to lunch, but I'll be back in like 20 minutes.
All right, it's all good. Thanks for
joining.
Be good benched. Bye.
Always here to cause trouble, Asher. He's always coming up to us causing problems.
Don't talk about it. That's all right. Hey, welcome, Ash. Welcome to the live.
Hi.
How are you?
You?
Good.
I might have to drop. I don't have a mute button for some reason.
Oh, no, you're fine. You can just side with me if you don't mute. I don't know why. Other people said they also couldn't mute. I don't know why. It is.
Yeah, am I echoing too or no?
No one else is echoing. There's no echo.
So Ash is a good friend of me as well. So if you want to add her as a mod for you, she'll do a great job. She'll help you out in the chat.
All right. Yeah, well, Ash, do you want to say anything or just hang out? Both is good.
Hang out. I'm just chilling.
Don't we all?
But nice to meet you.
Yeah, it's nice to be met. And nice to meet you as well.
Nice to be met. That's cute.
So yeah, is there anything you enjoyed or anything you found interesting about the live so far? I'm not sure how long you were watching or not.
Oh, I literally just popped in like a second ago and just requested. Sorry.
That's good. I do that sometimes. And by sometimes I mean a lot. I love the lives.
We love your content, by the way.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, you're doing an excellent job. We need more people like you around here. I'm telling you.
I'm glad you enjoyed it. I wasn't sure I was actually watching.
Baruch Hashem.
Cool. Yeah, they have this new AI podcast thing that I really like using it for like Torah. It's called Notepad LLM. Have you heard of it or no?
No. What is it called?
It's called Notepad LLM. I have a couple videos from it, but it's really cool. All you do is upload text in PDF or regular text from anywhere. You can hold like hundreds of pages, and it makes like a 10 to 15 minute podcast with two different hosts that sound really human-like. They like laugh at each other, but it's all AI. Everything, the voice.
Wow. Yeah.
And they talk about the sources, like bantering back and forth. They like laugh and they like make like silly comments and jokes with each other. It's like super realistic, and it's really cool stuff.
That is very cool. It don't scare you? Sometimes it scares me.
That's great. I uploaded like a few like Hasidus things about like the Elul, and it's like they're talking back and forth about this Hasidus. It's like really amazing. It sounds like it's like a person. Like, it does not sound AI at all. I don't even know how they do it, but yeah. So I was excited.
And even the personality, right? Like it has like some sort of a personality. It's not like robotic or anything.
Yeah, it's like they're actually like laugh at each other and they like say, "Wow, that's so interesting." Like, or they say, "Oh, one time I was like on a hike or something." It's like making up total.
It's a different world, I think.
Yeah, it's really interesting. Yeah, it's all over the news. It's like gaining popularity like a lot. So I think it's made for like Torah and Chassidus, I think.
I think so too. There'd be a better use for it.
Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah, other people don't really know what to do with it. They just like have like silly like school reports, but it's just like amazing podcast. And like other videos making. I mean, recently like there's like all these new guests for the. I'm in Crown Heights now, and they're at 770, so there's all these new people coming in for the month of Tishrei, so it's like packed.
Right.
A lot of like dancing and stuff. So there's a lot of cool stuff to film. Yeah.
Amazing. That's what I hope TikTok to be out one day. A huge yeshiva.
Yeah, we're starting it now.
Yeah, we are. I know. It's happening.
Imagine like people could actually enroll their kids in like a private school or a homeschool program that's just like based on TikTok Live. So like, the kids are just on TikTok all day, but they still get like school credits just listening to like someone talk on the live. Yeah.
Exactly. My uncle used to say, "You want to make some money, you got to go where the money is," and I think that's kind of how it is. You want to teach the children, you got to go where the children is. You know, kind of.
Yeah, school is a big thing. I mean, everyone has to have their kids somewhere, and there's no real good school. So yeah, I mean, one day an online.
One day we'll see. Yep, in our generation.
Yeah.
Well, brother, it was nice seeing you. I'm happy you're here. I'll be coming more often on your live just to make sure everything is okay in the chat box because it gets crazy out here. So just don't get caught up in all the nonsense around here. Just keep doing what you're doing.
Yeah, cool.
You know?
Yeah, thanks for joining us.
Of course, Baruch Hashem. Yep, I'll see you later.
We'll have other guests to actually talk about stuff. We don't have like yeah, cool. Oh, everyone just left. That's pretty cool. At the same time. Yeah, anyone else wants to be a guest, feel free to come up. I'm not sure what else to talk about right now, but I'm sure there's things. Here's more food that we put out. Pretty cool. Fancy stuff. Some nice sandwiches. And yeah, so this is pretty much those of us just joining. This is a place where there's like infinite food everywhere. Pretty much, there's a guy named Moshe Bashkin who just like he rented out like an entire half of a city block to build this huge tent and have like all these outdoor kitchens and stuff. Just to have free food for everyone. So it's a nice place to hang out. There's a lot of guests in Crown Heights for the Jewish holidays. Like hundreds of people come from all over the world just to be here during this time. So it's pretty cool place to be. And yeah, so we're kind of in a blank spot now. So if anyone wants to come up as a guest to fill the time until we find other guests, that would be nice, theoretically. And not only theoretically, but practically as well. Show the food again. Oh man, I already walked away from it, but here you can see some more people are joining. Earlier we had the guy himself come. Some other guys were shooting a different video about it, and the guy was giving a whole presentation, so we kind of like hijacked the video. And he gave us a whole presentation about new stuff they have this year, which is cool. They have like whole new like stoves for like egg making and other pancake makers that make stuff really fast. So that's kind of cool. But they usually have like hot eggs and stuff. They don't have any hot food yet. I think they're still setting up the kitchen, but they basically have this for like a month and a half about, and even a little bit more. Hi, welcome, Unscripted. Hope you're doing well. Working and listening, that's good. Now we just have to have something to talk about that you can listen to. We talked a lot about the Jewish New Year. Does anyone have any questions about Judaism or the Jewish New Year or the 7 Noahide laws that apply to all humanity as well? I'll take that as maybe. I could just talk about So for those of us just joining, sometimes I get to repeat stuff even though we've already said it, because if it's really deep, people can internalize it, or other people haven't heard it before. So just to repeat some things we said before, but make it better. That the Jewish head of the year is coming up in the year 5785. That commemorates the day that Adam, the first man, was created, which is the purpose of existence, for people to exist so that they can do the commandments of the Creator. Welcome back. I got disconnected again, but it's a sign. Someone asked in the comments, how many years from Noah to Adam? I believe it was 1656, I think. 50 something. I'm not sure exactly. I know that Rashi mentions the exact year. Noah was 600 years. If you add up all the years, it's 656.
Yeah, I think that was, I heard that was the year of the flood.
Yeah, the year of the flood. You're right. Sorry. So that means, and Noah was 600 years at that time, so minus 600. So that means, I
did the math. I think it was like less than 300 years.
No, it had to. Well, from the death of Adam, or from the birth of Adam.
Oh no, from when he steps off the flood, off the ark. I
That's
just woke up at 6 a.m.
From the birth of Noah to the birth of Adam, or something else?
Oh no, from when. So the thing I'm thinking about is people always try to claim that the Mesopotamians or Egyptians predated Israel, but in my understanding, Hebrew is the original language, and it didn't take very long after the flood, only like less than 300 years from when Noah parks the ark and gets off to the calling of Abraham. So that means in that 300-year period, all of these ancient civilizations were up and running. People try to make it sound like, they predated Abraham by thousands of years and they're the oldest religion and stuff like that. So that's why I was just curious if you knew offhand.
Oh yeah, I didn't realize you asked from Noah to Abraham. I thought you asked from Noah to Adam. Yeah, from Noah, there was 10 generations, and Abraham was born in 1948, and the flood happened in, I think, 1656, and Noah himself, I think, was born in 1056, so Abraham, I think, was born 948 years after, not exactly, but around 900 years after Noah. But no, Hebrew as a language goes back to Adam, and the proof for that is because Adam says he's going to call Chava, the Hebrew word for woman, which is Isha, and says because she was taken from man, which is Ish. So man is Ish, woman is Isha. Rashi says that proves that Adam spoke Hebrew and that the Torah is written in Hebrew, because only in Hebrew at the time could you have you could say, oh, she's called Isha because she was taken from Ish. Like you could have a play on words of man and woman like that. It doesn't exist.
Thank you. So that doesn't work in Aramaic, does it?
Not. It's. I don't think so. I'm gonna have to double check.
That's what my teacher told me. He was a Jewish guy. He said that the original language, not only that, but the language spoken in heaven is Hebrew as well.
Interesting. I have heard a source from the Talmud that said that Adam also spoke Aramaic as well. It's in the Jerusalem Talmud in Sanhedrin. It mentions it.
Oh, okay.
I haven't reviewed it in a while, but I think he spoke at least those two languages at the time. Interestingly.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You in New York?
Yeah, Crown Heights. Yeah, where
I just heard like a siren going on.
yeah, this tent that I'm in is like this guy, this really nice, rich guy named Moshe Rabashkin. He like during this entire month and a half of the high holidays, there's a bunch of new guests that come to Crown Heights. So first of all, he hosts them in his own house, which is nice. There's 100 people, and he also rents out an entire half of a city block to build this tent where he like makes food. I showed the food earlier. They have like entire food crates and kitchen and where workers outside where they just have food 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, non-stop food that anyone from the street can just come by and take.
Sounds like fun.
Yeah. So people.
I live in Hawaii.
Oh, nice. That's a bit of a long walk, but it's good. That's
yeah,
cool.
it's Hawaii's a very safe place for Jewish people.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. I think all the Polynesian islands are.
Yeah, I guess the native Hawaiians don't really care so much about like the politics.
Well, like I'm Samoan, and like all the South Pacific islands always vote in favor of Israel.
That's good.
Yeah. My teacher told me, because I said, "Are we the only ones that are not guilty of anti-Semitism?" And he said, "Yeah, that's probably because of a lack of exposure."
One way or another, it's good. You know?
Hello, good morning.
Hi, Daffodil. Welcome back.
Hello, how are you?
I have a question.
Yes.
I wanted to know what because I've read the Holy Bible, both Testaments. But anyways, I was just wondering, one story that caught my attention was the story of the talking donkey. What is that really about?
Yeah, so that's a good question. Yeah, so in the book of Numbers, midway through, it talks about how the Jewish people just defeated the king of Moab, and there was like a really powerful army out there on their way to the land of Israel. And then I don't think they defeated Moab. They defeated another king, and because of that, it was a really strong king named Selichot. He was like really powerful king, and he was like on the way to like the land of Israel, and the Jewish people were like on their way to begin conquering. So there's another nation called Moab that were afraid that the Jewish people would conquer them next, even though the Jews never made any indication that they would, and the Creator also told them not to, but they were still afraid because the Jews just fought this other king. So these other Moabites were nearby. They were afraid the Jews were going to get them next. So they knew that they couldn't outmatch them physically because the Jewish people were a lot stronger and a lot more numerous. So they tried to attack the Jews spiritually. So they had like a non-Jewish prophet named Bilam, or in English, Balaam, for some reason. I don't know why they changed that, but in Hebrew it's Bilam. He was a non-Jewish prophet. He was able to communicate with the Creator, and he had certain like supernatural abilities. So they thought that he would be able to spiritually hurt the Jewish people by cursing them with his mouth, by just saying a curse to the Jewish people. Since he had this special ability, they believed, the Moabite king named Balak believed that this person, Bilam, had the ability to hinder the strength of the Jewish people with his mouth because of his supernatural ability. And then they hoped that maybe they could defeat the Jewish people because they were afraid that they would be attacked. So basically, in order to do that, this Balak guy offered this Bilam person a lot of money to do it, and then Bilam said, "Oh, let me just hear what the Creator has to say." Then the Creator in a dream tells him like, "No, don't do it. I don't want you to do it." But then after asking, the Creator said, "Okay, fine. I don't want you to do it, but you could, if you want to go, you could just go anyway." But so then he rode his donkey. He rode a donkey on his way, on the way to the king. He was basically wanted to meet up with his king Balak, and once they were going to meet up, then the plan was to like curse the Jewish people with his mouth, which was like which then they hoped that they would defeat the Jewish people at the time. So as Balaam was on his way on the journey to this king Balak, he was riding a donkey, and then in order for the Creator, so the Creator himself did not want him to go, but the Creator said, "Oh, if you want to go, I'm not going to stop you from going, but I don't really want you to go." So in order to like give hints to Bilam to not go, 1 second, let me just place car pass. Yeah, I'm outside, which is good. It's a nice area. So in order to like give certain hints for Bilam to understand that he wasn't supposed to go, the Creator made certain like miracles happen that were kind of like made to be ironic in a certain way. Well, basically, what happened is like as he was riding the donkey kept on veering off the path, and he didn't know why. And then he kept on like hitting the donkey, say, "Oh, why are you stopping?" And then eventually, it turns out that there was an angel with a sword in the middle of the road that only the donkey could see, and that's why the donkey was stopping. But then eventually, the Creator made Bilam be able to see the angel, and Bill's like, "Oh, I'm so sorry." And then basically, the miracle before that happened, the miracle was that the donkey itself spoke to him and said, "Why are you hitting me these 3 times? Am I not your faithful donkey?" Like the donkey was basically saying, like, I'm trying to give you a message, like not to like go to the Creator, not to like curse the Jewish people. Like I'm trying to like do what the Creator wants me to do, but I'm trying to like make you avoid this angel that's trying to attack you. And the miracle was that the donkey spoke because the Creator wanted to like show some irony in the commentary that says that the whole point of why Bilam was being hired by this king Balak was because of his supposed supernatural ability with his power of speech. He was supposed to use the power of speech to actually have a military effect to the Jewish people. But then, even though his whole thing, that like his whole selling point was his great power of speech, but at the same time, even a donkey was able to outsmart him, was able to like win an argument, was able to like argue him, and the donkey embarrassed him in front of all the other officers that were with him at the time. So and then Bilam said, "Oh, look, if I had a sword in my hand, I would like kill the donkey as well." So like the point is that Bilam was like supposed to use his supernatural power of speech to curse the Jewish people, but even for a donkey, he can't even argue with the donkey. Instead of arguing with the donkey, that he needed to have a sword instead. So it was essentially like an ironic way for the Creator to try to like send a message for him to not do what he was doing, but he still didn't get the message, basically.
So he still ended up going.
Yes, but the whole point was like the whole point of it, according to some commentators, was like the lengths that the Creator goes to try to get you to not sin. Like even a donkey could outsmart you in an argument. So like the Creator's willing to do so much just to get people to not sin because he doesn't want people to sin. But if they want to, then he's not going to stop them ultimately. But yeah,
That's awesome. That's amazing. But I also remember like after that happened, didn't the Creator say that he was going to strike and unalive? He told did he tell Balaam that he was going to unalive him? He said if you would have kept going, I would. No, he was angry with him for his stubbornness or something, and that he said he was going to unalive him, but he would have let the donkey live, he said.
yeah. So that's interesting. So the angel, there was an angel in the path, and the angel had a sword that the donkey was trying to get out of the way because it says really animals are able to see more spiritual stuff than people because they don't have as much knowledge, so they're not going to be like freaked out about it. So it says that the donkey was able to see the angel, so he knew that there was a danger. But after the angel was revealed to both of them, then the angel said like, "Oh, if your donkey would have kept going, then I would have killed Bilam, but let the donkey live." So basically, the donkey was just doing a favor only for Bilam, not for its own benefit. It was trying to only help Bilam.
Wow.
Yeah, basically.
I love that story. I don't know why. That just, there's so much wisdom in it, in that story.
Yeah. Someone in the comments said Mashiach with a question mark. What to say? Maybe he was trying to talk about those other. What greatest is curse turns to blessings, and we have prophecy of Mashiach. Yeah. Someone else mentioned in the comments that the curse that at the end of the story, Bilam tried to curse the Jewish people, but the whole point of the story was to show that really his whole selling point was his power of speech. That he was like telling all these people like, "Wow, I'm such a prophet. I have this miraculous power of speech." But not only did he lose an argument with a donkey, but even the words that he was trying to say, the Creator forced him to say different words when he was trying to speak one.
Wow, yeah.
One thing I saw is that in one of his responses, he says he's looking for sin in there is none. So like at some point he sees the people of Israel as being sinless, and there is none. So like at some point he sees the people of Israel as being sinless, and
Yeah, I think I remember that too. And I think he ended up blessing him. I think it's been a while since I read that. But
Oh, he blessed him 3 times. Yeah. So the king of Moab wanted to. First of all, they know that the Israel, Jews are coming. They got freed. They hear of the story about Egypt, so they're kind of freaked out. And so he hires Balaam to come and curse Israel, but Hashem will not allow anyone to curse Israel in the way that Balaam was going to do it, which was of an eternal effect. So rather than cursing him, Hashem takes over his voice and he blesses Israel.
wow, that's awesome.
Yeah, pretty cool story.
It is, because I think probably the second most interesting part of that story to me is the fact that he was a non-Jewish prophet, and that's because
Well, he was not a prophet of God. I mean, excuse me, Hashem.
Oh.
He was from Babylon, so that means he was an astrologer, and they were back then. Back then, astronomy and astrology were the same school, so he was involved in the occult and things like that. But he was well known, and people thought at that point in time that whoever Balaam blessed would be blessed, and whoever he cursed would be cursed.
Oh, okay.
So he's brought in to curse the people of Israel, and Hashem takes over his voice, and he's not able to do it. He even says, how can I curse whom Hashem is not cursed?
Yes.
Let my end be like theirs.
Wow, isn't that something? That's amazing.
Oh, yeah, for sure. What's interesting to me is how the first 11 chapters of the book, it's limited in the entire Bible to 11 chapters from Adam to the flood. And then Israel, the Jewish people, take over the narrative through the end of the book. So that's something I think that students of Scripture need to be aware of. And, it's a good observation, because they should become the focus, which they are in Scripture. I'm a Christian, so, it led me to the Jewish people being the focus of my Christian faith.
I 100% believe that if people are truly following as Christians the Holy Bible, that would be the result. And so there is, the way I understood it was that even if you're going to follow the New Testament and the whole narrative, that Israel is like the big brother, and that or the firstborn, I should say, God's firstborn. And in other words, like bringing Christianity into it, and how the faith works is that to be adopted, into Israel. And that means
I would disagree with that.
No, because it does say that it doesn't say getting rid of the branch, or it doesn't say getting rid of the tree. It says being adopted into. So Christians, no, you have to go back and read that. I don't know.
Israel owns the tree, but the tree is not Israel.
Yes, it is.
So the tree is the place of spiritual blessing. That's based and rooted in the Jewish covenants of the patriarchs. So the theology of Christianity that Paul is talking about is Gentile believers are grafted into this tree, but he doesn't say that the tree is Israel.
The tree is Israel. That's
that's what your belief is, but
that's my belief. So there's absolutely no way. No, it would be absolutely incorrect.
Let me ask the host about this.
No, but I'm just saying.
I understand what you're saying.
You said your theory. I'm going to say mine. Is that in my belief, and the way I received it was that there's no way to even apply any benefits of Christianity outside of Israel. That's my whole.
Okay.
That's my whole
But let me
belief.
ask
But
the host.
let's ask the host. Ask the host. Yeah.
Yeah.
But the thing is, remember that he's not. I'm sorry to be interrupting, but remember that the host is not. He doesn't apply the New Testament.
Yeah, that's obvious. But I just want to ask him because I'm not sure if it's part of Jewish theology at all.
Yeah, that's a good point.
sure.
That's a good point.
Yeah, ask away.
Okay, so Paul in the New Testament, he talks about this analogy of the olive tree. Is that something that's spoken of in Judaism at all?
Olive tree? I mean,
No,
olives
the
are
olive
one of the.
tree would be like, he says that the olive tree is where the Jewish people are. The olive tree is where the spiritual blessings of Hashem is being distributed to the Jewish people, and then he's claiming that Gentile believers in Yeshua are grafted into the olive tree. So Daffodil and I have a little different take on that, but I don't even know if that's even a concept in Judaism. So
The reference to olives I can think of are olives are one of there's seven fruits that are like considered special fruits for the land of Israel, and olives are one of them. So that's one connection. Another connection is it says when the Messiah comes, it says the creator's. I mean, it's metaphorical, but it says like the creator doesn't have a body, but it says the creator's feet, so to speak, will stand on the mountain of olives, and then he will that will be like the marking of the Messianic era. It has a lot of metaphorical meaning because the creator doesn't have any body, but that's one reference I can think of. But yeah.
Oh, okay. I got one more question since you brought up the Mount of Olives.
Yeah.
Well, thanks, Courtney. So the Mount of Olives, like in Ezekiel, when he describes the Shekinah glory leaving the temple, I think I remember being told that the rabbis taught that when the Shekinah glory left, it hovered there over the Mount of Olives for a certain amount of time before he actually departed.
Maybe I'm not such an expert in that. I haven't
They wrote a
learned the
lot,
entire
didn't they?
Ezekiel through with the commentaries yet, but it makes sense, possibly.
Yeah, they wrote so much, man. It's like, how could anyone grasp everything?
Yeah, I should soon. I need to make it a priority. It's really good to learn it, but I'm not sure. I can't confirm that, but maybe.
Okay.
I also can't deny it. So yeah.
Okay, thanks.
Yes, Courtney asked the question: do you believe in the concept of Awtsmoos in like a goof? Oh, she's talking about a reference to I think she's talking about a reference to the Bavitcher Rebbe's statements where it's like he referred to his father-in-law as the Awtsmoos, which is like the essence of the creator, but inside a body. But it doesn't mean that the creator is like a body, but it means like the creator, who is the Awtsmoos, can be manifested in the body of every Jew. Hi, welcome, Courtney.
Hey, shalom. How are you?
Shalom aleichem. Have we met before? I can't remember.
Shalom. I don't know. This is the first time I've seen your live. I was just listening.
Welcome.
Can you hear me now? I've got my headphones in.
I hear you. We all hear you. I hear you.
Hi, Courtney.
Wonderful. Yeah. Hi. How are you?
I think we talked once. You're a Messianic Jew, right?
Yeah, I'm Messianic. Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
By faith.
Yeah, I think I remember a while back.
Well, in light of your name, right, and then you
Yes.
kind of have like this picture that seems like Kabbalah. So I wasn't sure if you were going to take the idea of a smooth naguf.
Yeah, can you explain that for our viewers to understand?
Yeah, like the idea that not that one would say that God is a man in the capacity that we are a man, but more that Hashem, that Hashem would have the ability to have a divine essence in a bodily form. Some would say that this is like a tzaddik or a righteous individual that could have this essence of Hashem himself, which the Rebbe was said to possibly have. So what do you think about that?
Yeah, I mean, according to Chassidus, which is really based on other parts of the Torah, it says that everyone is created with the Tselem Elokim, in the image of of the Creator, even though the Creator doesn't have a physical image, but that refers to like the intellectual capacity and the power of speech. So I'm just gonna put my face closer to the mic because there's background noise. Yeah, everyone is said to have like a resemblance, so to speak, of the Creator's energy through the power of speech and the power of intellect. But for Jews, it's a little different because at Mount Sinai, which was 2,448 years after Adam was created, then it says when the Creator himself revealed himself at Mount Sinai to the millions of the Jews directly through like a great shofar blast, lightning, fire, and the main thing is that when he spoke the 10 Commandments, the first thing he said was that I am the Lord, your power, your God, literally, but it means your power in Hebrew, who took you out of the land of Egypt. So in Hebrew, that phrase, I am the Lord, your power, is in a singular sense, even though he was talking to millions of people at the same time, but he spoke it in the singular grammatically, so he was speaking to each and every one. And in the Midrash, it says, based on that each person, whether young or old, was able to say that they felt the Creator speaking to them personally in a way that them as an elder or them as a child was able to connect with. And that's the primary source of the idea that's basically throughout the Midrash and Kabbalah, that the Creator implanted himself into every Jew for all time. When he said those words, I am the Lord, your power, like the idea of I am the Lord became the internalized power of every Jew. So that's like the idea of when the Creator became manifested in the physical body of every Jew. I had a video about this a while ago. There's references in the Lubavitch Rebbe's teachings about this, and that itself has other references in Kabbalah. But so it's essentially it's not like the Jews
like
are the
Jewish
Creator, but
soul.
the Creator.
Jewish soul.
Oh, good. So it's not like the Jewish people are the Creator, that the Creator is a person, but the Creator who's infinite and beyond all form, he implanted his power into the physical body of every Jew, which essentially was in order to allow them to do the commandments, because the Jewish people have a certain covenant of the Creator to do extra commandments to reveal the Creator in the world. In order to give them the power to do that, he like implanted himself into the flesh of every Jew to give them the power to do the commandments in a way. Our strength, it means. Our might, our strength is what it means, translates to. Yeah. So there is a concept. And then, go ahead.
Thanks for that explanation. I had no idea.
Yeah, I have references in the Lubavitch Rebbe's teachings on the verse that talks about the Creator speaking the 10 Commandments. The Rebbe has a discourse that has a lot of other sources, but in the discourse is where he mentions all the other sources of, because it's in the single. The main reason is because the 10 Commandments is in the singular, and it says, I am the Lord, your power. Then that's like the original source for the Midrash, which said that the Creator combined his name, which is the Lord, refers to his name, with each and every one individually, and then based on that, it elaborates on a lot of other things, essentially resulting in the fact that the essence of the Creator, which says, when it says I am, that's the Awtsmoos, the essence of the Creator. And then when it says I am the Lord, then the Lord is the name. So first it's the essence going into the Lord, which is the name, the four-letter name. And then after it's in the name, then it's in the internalized power of every Jew. And then he said that power is not only in the soul, but it's also in the body. And like the physical body is basically mapped out based on that. Like the 10 fingers correspond to the 10 Sefirot. There's 10 like emanations of Hashem's power, which come from his name. The 10 fingers and the 10 toes correspond to like different levels of the 10 Sefirot, the 10 building blocks of creation. And also the face, the human face, also corresponds to the divine name based on the shape of the eyes and the nose and the mouth. And also like the body. The body itself corresponds to the letter Vav. The point is, different parts of the body correspond to different names, different parts of the divine name. Basically. So yeah, I don't know if that makes any sense.
No, I mean it's very. I mean, it makes sense to me. I don't know who. Maybe others it doesn't make sense to.
Not yet.
Like if you stack the name of Hashem,
It makes
formulates
sense
like a body.
Yeah, I mean, it itself is beyond a body completely, but it's infinite enough. It's infinite. The also says infinite. He's able to like also be found in the body. Not that he's like limited to a body, or not that he is a body, but he's able to like invest himself, so to speak, or invest his might or his power into the physical flesh of the Jew, every Jew. So it's really every Jew, not only a tzaddik. It's just by a tzaddik, it's like you could realize it openly. Hi, welcome to our new guest, oh, by the way.
Hey, Mike, how are you?
I'm not sure if he's here, but anyway.
I'm not sure if this is a
Mr.
live that you would
Miyagi.
be interested in.
Mr. Miyagi was the MC of my father's show back in the 60s in Vegas.
What was his show?
He had a Polynesian review.
That's cool.
Yeah. Before
So
he went
host-
on to Happy Days
I'm
and
sorry.
stuff. Go ahead.
Yes.
I was just going to say, what do you think of in light of that Horeb when they said, let us not hear from Hashem anymore? What do you think?
One more time, I missed the first thing you said.
When they say in at Horeb, let us not hear from Hashem again, what do you say?
Yeah. So according to the commentaries, basically the Creator started speaking to them. He said the phrase, "I am the Lord, your power, who took you out of the land of Egypt." Then he also said, "Don't have any other gods before me." Then the Jews said, "Don't speak to us again." So the commentaries say that really the reason for that is because when the Jews, this is the only time the Jews heard the Creator speak to them directly. Every other time it was really the Creator telling Moses to tell them something. But after the Creator spoke to them, we're told in the Midrash that after every statement the Creator said, after the first statement when he said, "I am the Lord, your power, who took you out of the land of Egypt," that was so intense for them that their souls literally left their bodies, and everyone passed away at the same time, and they all died, and literally. But then they were resurrected. The angels, it says millions of angels came, and they brought their souls back to life in their bodies. So it was a pretty harsh experience. They all literally passed away, literally. And then they were resurrected, just like in the future resurrection of the dead that's going to happen. They were resurrected in the same way. This is in the Midrash, accepted by all commentaries. And then
So the commentary says that when God spoke to each individual at the same time in a total,
they all passed away. Yeah, all of them passed away at the same time.
That's how powerful God is.
Yeah, that's why. So that happened the first time. The first statement after the first sentence, "I am the Lord your God, took you out of Egypt." But then they were resurrected by the angels. And then the second statement, when the Creator said, "Don't have any other gods before me," they passed away a second time, and the angels brought them back to life a second time. So after that second time of being unalived and realived, then they said, "Okay, this is too much for us to handle. We're not going to do this anymore." So Moses, just let him speak to you because you can handle it. So I said, we don't wanna
Courtney,
hear
are you going to the prophet that would come like unto Moses with that?
No. I was just wondering what he thinks about it.
Because didn't God tell Moses, or I forget, I can't quote it correctly, but I'll send a prophet like unto Moses to the people.
It's in the book of Deuteronomy. Yeah, I think it's talking about the Messiah, or it's also, I think, talking about other prophets that are similar to Moses.
According to the Rambam, it speaks of other prophets as well. This is the divine command to listen to all of them.
So the difference between Moses and the other prophets is that Hashem spoke face to face with Moses.
Yes, and while Moses was still awake, other prophets, they had to be in some kind of trance or something, but not while they were actually awake, standing on 2 feet and everything.
So that was those guys, man. I love looking at what the prophets wrote and chronologically, seeing what took place. It's amazing.
So, host, I don't know. Should I just call you a smoot, or what do you?
My real name is Yaakov. I just use Awtsmoos because of deeper meanings. But
yeah, I got you. Okay. Do you think that Hashem spoke to Moshe like quite literally face to face, or you think he used like a shiliach or some sort of veil of some sort? What do you think?
No, it's definitely face to face. But again, the Creator does not have any body. So what does face to face mean? It doesn't mean like there was a face, but the Rambam in the beginning of the laws of the foundation of the Torah explains what exact. First of all, the Rambam says the Rambam lays like a foundation of the Torah that says the Creator has no body, and all the times where the Torah says like the hands of Hashem, the feet of Hashem, those are all like anthropomorphisms to like give certain metaphors or certain things. But the Creator has no body, and it says when Moses says, "Let me see your face," the Rambam explains that Moses wanted to comprehend like the internal aspects of the Creator and how everything is connected to the Creator. He explained it metaphorically. So yes, he did speak face to face, but that does not mean that there was an actual face. It means that there was an internal connection that other prophets did not have.
Can I try to elaborate on that?
Yeah, go ahead.
I can't remember exactly what story it was and what person it was, but there was a time, I think, when the Creator was communicating with Israel. I can't remember which person, but kind of saying that the Creator actually said when I don't know, he was being doubted or something, and he said, you know, he said, I'm the one that gave you ears. Can't I hear?
Yeah.
Something like that. Do you remember that?
Yeah, I forgot the reference, but if anyone remembers the reference, tell us. Yeah, he says like, "Oh, does the one who forms the ears not hear?" etc. So yeah, it doesn't mean that he has ears, but since he made ears, then he also has the ability to hear. Not that he has a body, but that he created the power of hearing that we have, so he obviously has it as well.
Yes.
Yeah, I forgot the reference, but it's very defined technically.
Psalm 94.
That's all. It's also in Psalms, but it's in one of the prophets.
Courtney's such a good student of scripture.
Oh, my bad. I spelled that wrong. Hold on. Psalms. There we go.
It's in Psalm. I mean, in Psalms it mentions something, but it's a note. Right, that's a different reference. In Psalms says the one who plants the ear does not hear. But there's also another reference in one of the other prophets. I forgot which one though.
Yeah.
Yeah,
well, I got to run, you guys. It's only almost 7 a.m. here in Honolulu, but it's been a joy to listen to all of you. Thanks a lot.
Having you.
Yeah. It was really nice meeting you.
All right. Aloha.
Shalom. Aloha.
Shalom.
Aloha. Yeah.
So does that mean we start the conversation over again? She said aloha.
We could. Yeah, if you guys have any questions they want to continue talking about, we could.
Evek, what do you think about this?
Talking to me?
No, Evek. He's a follower of mine, so I just wasn't sure if he was
nice.
wanting to ask questions or.
When I first joined, I had like 6 questions in mind, and I was patiently waiting and also listening to the conversation, and I forgot half of them, and I was like, "What?"
Oh, brutal. Maybe if you remember, we started talking about the donkey. What did it have to do with that, or no?
The donkey was the most important one, but I had a few other ones.
Well, if you remember us, please interrupt us because I don't want to I don't want it to go by. If you remember, just like mention it right away. I don't mind being interrupted. I just want to hear it.
Yeah, you were or helping educate the other guy, and I just didn't want to break that up, But I guess I'm just gonna have a few minutes.
Yeah, feel free to mention.
So,
remember.
that's okay. I remember. Okay, so what about okay. So what about that part? I'm sure you've been asked this a million times already because it is a very interesting and different part of the book that stands out and is kind of odd, but the part where pre Noah, when I guess apparently things were getting out of hand, like really bad, before the flood, and when I think the description of giants walking the earth and something about, I don't know, in the whole, this is in the Old Testament, by reading the entire, the Holy Bible. saying that there was giants walking the earth, and that something about, I don't know, God said if I let my spirit live among them, they're going to live forever, and he didn't want that. And that's when he decided, okay, I'm just going to have to, start over again and just, wash all the bad stuff. What is that? The sons of men, that's what it was. The sons of men, it said, or one like the sons of men liked the human women and began to you know uh, get
Multiply.
together, and then giants were born or something like that. Is that in the Torah, and what in the world is that all about?
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple different explanations. The word is Nephilim, which means like the fallen one. One commentary says that it refers to actual people who are like princes who were kings who like fell from their stature. I think
Is there an echo?
I think she needs to mute. Yeah, I think she needs to mute.
Okay, I can't mute. I don't have a mute option. Or go ahead and mute me.
Click your face, and then like you're gonna go turn your picture on. You'll see the mute. Do you see it?
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a glitch. I hate when it does this, but sorry. Go ahead, Yaakov. Yeah, it's a glitch. I hate when it does this, but sorry. Go ahead, Yaakov.
Yo, you guys still there? Yo, you guys still there? Yo, you guys still there? Oh man, okay, if you guys can hear me, my phone is really acting up. I'm not sure what's happening, man. Okay, this is brutal. Yeah, sorry about that. My phone keeps really acting up. It keeps on crashing, and it's also almost out of battery. So I might have to end the live, and maybe we'll continue later at a later time. Sorry about that. But to answer the question, whoever's still listening, yeah, in the Torah it talks about this concept of Nephilim, the fallen ones. Some commentaries say it refers to actual people that simply fell from their stature by marrying the women in like a lustful way. So some people say it was actual people, but other people say that it was fallen angels. There was two angels. The names are mentioned in the commentator Rashi. I forgot what they are exactly. And it says there was like a story that in the Midrash that says that they were like blaming all the people for being bad. They said, oh, if only we were on earth, we would do so much better. And the creator said, oh, yeah, well, you could try. But then once the angels came on earth, then it's like they realized that they were actually a lot less capable of handling the world than people were. And then they became like really immoral. And then there was a concept of giants that were born and roamed the earth for a long time. The flood was not specifically to wipe out the giants. The flood was because of the wickedness of the other people at the time. The giants were just like an outcome. And there was actually one of the giants that survived the flood named Og. And in fact, when the Jewish people went into the land of Israel, they first sent out spies to the land. There was 12 spies that were sent out, and 10 of the spies came back with giant fruit in their hands, as it says in the Midrash. They said like they had to have like 10 people carry